He's the host of MSG 150, the host of the Barton Hahn Show on ESPN Radio, now national. Put some respect on his name, J Ellis.
Respect on that name, damn it.
Alan Hahn,
Yeah.
the Knicks fix returns. Han Solo in the building. Welcome back, man. How you doing?
I'm good. I just want you guys to know right out of the gate, this hat is from which draft?
That's from the Frank draft. Or is that Porzingis?
No, that's the Ntilikina draft.
That is the Ntilikina draft of 2017.
Now,
J Ellis, you have that one, right?
I
How
do.
do I keep this hat?
Hopefully he's still good. You know,
How
by
would
the
I
time
keep
it's,
this hat?
hopefully he's still good, man.
Once a Knick, always a Knick.
All right.
You guys, thanks for having me back, though. Let me give you guys the props for the way you've done this professionally and blown this thing up, and it's a must-have and a go-to. It's entertaining. You guys do a great job. And here's how I know you do a great job, because every time you guys have a show, somebody's tagging me going, "Did you hear what they said?" You know, and did you hear what they got him to say and all that stuff. So, again, respect to you guys.
Appreciate it, man.
Passion that gets it started, but it's obviously consistency and how much work you guys put into it that makes it good. So congrats on the success you've had so far. And again, thanks for having me back on. I was looking forward to this.
Absolutely. Likewise, man. All right, so we had a condensed fast break all season for the Knicks.
Mm-hmm.
Very fast all season for the Knicks. Let's start with the draft. Obi Toppin pick at number 8. We had Emmanuel Quickly at 25. How'd you feel about our draft prospects?
I think Obi Toppin is going to be a star. And it's funny. I remember talking when I was doing the draft research, weeks before the draft, watching, obviously all the different films that's out there. I like watching full games, and, you try to find how many full games you can get. And as I watched them, I'm like, damn, like if you get him in the Garden and you got Mitch, who's also, and you just Lob City, you just get down the floor.
Box office.
He so hard. Mm-hmm. That's what I said. He's going to be a fan favorite at the Garden. And the vitriol that I got back from people that are like, Halliburton or you got to trade up for LaMelo.
No.
It's like, if he falls to 8, you just thank God and you go on, because this dude's going to be ready for the league. And fast forward, he falls to them at 8. And I actually feel like he was supposed to be at 8, if you know what I mean. Like, there's certain players that go to certain places. He was meant to be there.
Yeah.
But it's when you see him and when you hear now what guys are saying about him, with his own teammates. I mean, Elfrid Payton was like you see, like what this kid's doing. Mm-hmm. Even Kevin Knox was talking about how the kid walks in the gym at 8:00 in the morning. His first shot is a between the legs dunk. Who does that? Like, I'm out here, I'm doing the Achilles stretch for like 10 minutes before I can get a shot up. And so when you have that, his pedigree too. His dad was a street baller. His dad was a legend. He grew up, on those streets, on the side, on those parks. He named them all too today, which I love that too. When he's talking about Dykeman, he's talking about West Fourth. Not just Rucker, which is the name everybody goes to. He all the other parks too. It's like it's in his blood. It's in him. I love using the phrase like blood in the ground.
Yeah.
He's got blood in the ground. I like that. So there's so much about him that I think is going to be, he's got star potential. And I'm looking forward to seeing where he's going to play and how he's going to play. But if Tom Thibodeau says his offensive game is as ready as it can be for a young player, I mean, he rarely speaks in hyperbole.
Yeah, I was surprised Tibbs said he was ready, man. I was really surprised Tibbs gave him the vote of confidence that early.
Yeah, that said a lot to me. That caught my attention. And then I'll try to be quick on Emmanuel Quickly, no pun intended. Another guy that some people thought, you could have gotten this player, that player. Like, you took him too high. You could have gotten him in the second round, whatever it is. He's there. He's a player you wanted. They've got intimate information on him. They know him well because of Kenny Payne and their relationship with Cal. They've got a guy that is a flat-out shooter, confident kid, competitor, can defend. Now let's see what they can turn him into. Yeah. I really liked their draft. I thought they did a really good job on draft night, maneuvering, the little movements they did. I like their draft, and it's been a while since I've been able to say, man, I really like their draft.
Yeah, I didn't mind it at all, and it was nice to see them wheeling and dealing in the draft. taking advantage of those relationships and putting themselves in position, whether it was to move up to go get them or to move back, reset the board and make their picks from there. With Toppin, what I like, I think the offense is going to speak for itself. I'd love to see how the defense comes around, and I'm really interested to see how they use him as a playmaker to take advantage of some of his passing proficiencies that the scouts have been touting. But what I really also like about him is the character. He comes on a media day. He talks about how he's going to work hard. He has to work on every facet of his game. They ask him how he's going to handle the pressure. He talks about dealing with Dykeman and the Rucker and being able to handle the hecklers there. Fans call in the show, Alan, and when they talk about the draft, they don't just speak about the talent, but they also talk about the importance of these guys having a good mental makeup. We always talk about how the Knick jersey's the heaviest in the league. Every jersey's polyester, that one is lead. And when I look at him, when I look at RJ, two kids with New York roots, character, maturity, I think that's important, man, as we talk about the standard bearers for this team. What do you think about that?
Well, as to me, like they're the footings, right, of the foundation. Like people, you have to build a foundation. You need footings before you have a foundation. Anybody that's in construction knows what I'm talking about. And these guys are footings to me. That's a bedrock, and you need guys like that. So you can now build off that. And I do think I agree with you on RJ. I've always been a fan of his. I think his character is something that people overlook. The toughness that he has, the strength. We saw him at 19, and he was knocking grown-ass men across the lane when he was driving the basket. You don't overlook that. You can't just he can't shoot. He can't shoot. I can fix that.
Right.
What I can't do is make you a guy that can drive into somebody and move him 5 feet back so you can finish a shot. That's impressive. So that's the kind of stuff I like about RJ, and that he's never lost before. So last year to him, that stuff bothers him. And how, by the way, refreshing was it when he was asked about the all-rookie team? That old line, ain't no future in you front. And my roommate used to say that to me all the time. like that, he doesn't even try to front about he's like, it bothered me. Like, how some guys will say, no, I don't pay attention to that stuff.
He kept it real. Kept it real.
I like exactly. He's like, it bothered me. I thought I deserved it. And that's going to be on my mind all season. Love it. Please do that. Have that chip, carry it on your shoulder. So that's important. But what you just said, though, think about it this way. They also, Leon, Brock Aller, and Tibbs have sort of built this team with that character in mind, haven't they?
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's no knuckleheads. There's no sort of like weird guys. Like everybody is sort of like, I'm here
focused,
to work.
Even Quickly.
Quickly's that kind of personality. Alec Burks has that personality. We know Peyton has that personality. There's a lot of those type of guys that they brought in. And so when you've got a couple of the wishy-washy types like a Kevin Knox and, Mitch can be a little aloof at times as well. If you have enough of those dudes in the room, the guys that don't know how to lock in will suddenly learn quickly how to lock in. So I'd like what you just said too, the makeup of the character that the players that they have this year. Now, the honest thing is that they do have a problem with talent. They lack it. They don't have a killer, anyway, we don't know. One might emerge, but right now they don't. And that's, of course, where the problems are going to begin. Once they step on the floor, they're going to have to just outwork other teams.
Yeah.
And
so
Tibbs can do that.
So let me talk about the approach of the season, though, because as you said, we didn't have the talent. Yeah. But the Knicks were really conservative in how they approached this offseason. They really didn't put a lot of assets on the table when it came to free agency. So do you agree with the approach that the Knicks took this free agency and not including assets, not really including young guys and trades and things of that nature?
Well, I agree that there wasn't the sizzle out there to go get, right?
Right.
Leaving the cap space makes me wonder, like, was it that you didn't like what was out there that could fill out the roster, or you just couldn't get it?
Right.
Yeah.
The Gordon Hayward, I know he's a talented player, but did that move you?
No.
Did what Charlotte gave him? Did you go like, man, why didn't we do that?
I told him they caught MJ on a good night at the poker table, man. Passed him the phone. He was already up $500,000, J Ellis. He said, cash that check.
How about Nick Batum?
It split us, though, right? It split us. There's some people who said they wanted Gordon Hayward, and some people said they didn't. But I feel like it depended on the number. Like, I feel like for me, if we were able to get Gordon Hayward at a reasonable discount, 2 years like it was originally offered,
yeah,
I would accept that because I know he's not going to take the ball away from RJ and the main guys. He's going to be able to share, play defense, and he's going to be a nice role player for these Knicks. And he's not going to slow down the progress of these young guys. But once it gets to the third and fourth year, that's when it gets a little bit shaky.
That's what I felt too. Yeah, I kind of felt the same way. And if you're Gordon Hayward, if you're Mark Bartelstein, his agent, if somebody's willing to give you a 4-year deal, you take the damn 4-year deal.
Yeah.
I mean, you've had enough. If I'm his agent, I'm saying the same thing. Let's see, you've had an injury history here. Let's lock it in and get it security.
Right.
And not, this isn't New York's not a place to go bet on yourself. Not a guy like you. So like that didn't break my heart, right? Like that one didn't. It just wasn't that one.
Right.
Fred VanVleet was very interesting. Like that was one where I was like, I could
didn't want
that one. Yeah. But in anyone's right mind, why the hell would he leave Toronto? Right. Like, at home they made him. Kyle Lowry's just going to get older and fatter, and eventually, Fred's got to be the guy. He's going to have to be the man there. So that's a perfect place for him. And it didn't make sense for him to leave. So I wasn't putting a lot of stock in that either. I would have tried to do Fred and Bogey and have that Bogdanovich. I like him. And Fred, and now RJ doesn't have as much pressure on him. You got a really solid backcourt. Like I would have, could we try that? Bogey, I was told Bogey didn't want to come to New York. He had no interest in going to New York.
I'm scared.
So that's one. And then Fred wasn't going to leave Toronto.
Yeah.
So once that was out, I mean, other than trying to just whisper in Donovan Mitchell's ear, like you don't like Sam.
We'll leave the light on for you, basically.
Yeah. Like everybody, just act up a little bit. They'll get you out of there. Just
Yeah.
Or De'Aaron Fox, look, they just drafted your replacement. Why don't you get that? Sign the extension? They took the money as they should have. So what was out there? What else was going to happen? So that's why I'm left sort of. It's hard. You asked me to answer a question with a yes or a no, and I can't.
That's fine.
Because I don't have enough information on what was available to them.
Right.
But I understand what they did this offseason, which is show some discipline, not throw money around. And the obvious big thing that they could have done that they didn't was Russell Westbrook that I suggested. And Chris Paul, by the way, was not plan A. No disrespect to Berman and anybody else that talked about this. But I'm telling you, Chris Paul was not plan A. Chris Paul was a plan.
Right.
Like it was, if he wants to come to New York.
Right, and I didn't feel like he really wanted to come. Like, why would he want to come here at his age?
No, where did his family live while he was in Oklahoma City and in Houston?
He's not in L.A.
His family stayed in L.A.
Right.
They were in L.A. the whole time, and he would fly out. The one thing they loved about the Thunder is they would let him go home. And so he would. So for him to come to New York, he'd have to take everybody with him or leave them behind.
Yeah.
Of course, he'd think about it if suddenly the Knicks were able to put something together like that was pretty exciting, but there was nothing happening. And for him, let me just stay close to home. And neither LA team had the ability to get him. And Phoenix is pretty close, as we know, to LA. So that worked out for him. And that's where he went. Yeah. So that was not plan A. It was just a plan. Right? I want to make that clear to people. So Russell was the one temptation. See, wasn't Russ like, I said this, like if this was 2007 and Isaiah was in charge, Westbrook would be wearing zero in New York right now.
Oh, yeah,
quickly.
Absolutely.
100%.
And the Rockets would have every first-round pick.
Exactly. And I would be crying right now.
Yeah, that's a fact, man. That's a fact. Listen,
that's all you could have done. That third year at 47 was the cause for pause, and didn't happen.
It was too much, man. I just felt like I like that the fact that they kept it lean. I'm sure they had their targets. As you said, we don't know who wanted to come here. We don't know what their price was, but I feel like they have a strategy, a plan, and it seems like it's a bit of a carryover from last year, if we're being honest. Just a bit better executed. I like the fact that they used the cap to bring Ed Davis in. They got 3 second-round picks out of Ed Davis. He never even stepped foot here. Use the cap, weaponize the cap. Yeah, I love it, and I think. Listen, they're going to keep it lean, but still try to bring players here that can help. They bring in Rivers. They bring in Burks, guys that can probably help space the floor and help RJ out. But I feel like they got their eyes on the prize in this draft. In this 21 draft, everybody's talking about how this is probably one of the deepest drafts in years. I made a point I was on FAN. I made a point saying that I don't think anyone in the league knows this draft class better than Worldwide West, the underboss of the NCAA, and Leon Rose. I'm serious.
And
Who knows these guys better, J Ellis?
You got throwing Walt Perrin, OG.
And Walt Perrin, the OG. And Alex Klein, who has a reputation for doing his homework and all these prospects. They know the end game, Alan. We need that dog at the top of the draft, man. We still need that talent.
Tom don't know the end game.
Under boss.
Tom don't know.
That is, but you understand, right? Like, you're. What are you noticing that's different about this team since Leon's taken over? This is the family. Like this is. I don't know who Fredo is.
Definitely the family.
Whoever gets sent out to, like, you just go with the G League team. Like, that's probably Fredo, right? He gets sent out to the casino. No, I'm just like, it's, you see, like they operate in the shadows.
Yeah.
They operate in silence. Like I love the little tweaks. Like the writers are like, Leon Rose hasn't spoken to the media in 4 months. It's like, yeah, he's probably not going to speak to the media for about 6 months.
Yeah,
he's got nothing to say. Like, you know, that's how they operate. They operate in the shadows. I don't need your attention. I don't want the spotlight. And that's consistent to their character, which when I was a writer, getting Leon Rose on the record, impossible. Getting Leon Rose to respond to you, even more impossible. There were very few people he talked to. I always tell fans this. When you want to believe something, if you see a rumor, it ain't true until Woj tells you. And it's not because I work at ESPN. It's because Woj has known Leon forever. So if anybody's going to find out, it's going to be Woj. So that's what you trust that. But I kind of feel after all the years of, you know, whether it was, you know, Isaiah, and he was always out front, very excited about all the moves. He wanted so bad to be out there and to tell you everything he was doing, and he'd whisper stuff, you know, and then Donnie tried to dial that back, but, you know, there was still leaks here and there and other people that were leaking stuff. And obviously then, since then, it's just been chaos. You know, the Phil Jackson stuff was, what a disaster that was. And most of the time, nobody knew what he was doing because he didn't know what he was doing.
I'm sure.
No, it's true. Like when you would ask people and they were like, I'm not sure what we're going to do. Oof. But this is now, it's as drum tight as this franchise has been in a long time. Like there's just no leaks anymore. Yeah. Anything you see is coming from the outside. Maybe an agent heard something or a player knows something that talking to another player. But you're not getting that whisper anymore at the front office. So just to put a bow on what you were saying, I think what you said is very accurate, though. That's how they operate. And yeah, that's why I think Wes is valuable, because Wes will know what's coming up in the pipeline.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Only problem is, what have we learned in past history with the Knicks? The one thing they can't control is the lottery.
True.
Where they pick. That's the part that frustrates me the most when we talk about. I went off today on my show when somebody called up saying, you know, this college, I'm watching these college kids, and I'm like, dude, it's a week into the college season. The Knicks haven't even played a first game. We haven't played a game yet. You're telling me
highlights are going crazy. BJ Boston, a million Jalen's. It's going crazy, man. And yeah, listen, as you said, it's unpredictable. I just feel like this is where they need to play for now. Of course, I want to build a team that's competitive and can win games. I'm still fishing for that big guy, man. I'm still fishing for that.
How do you know you don't have? Maybe you have.
No, I mean, well, we need the point. We need the point, Alan.
Yeah, we
or
definitely
the three.
Need the point.
The point or the three has to be an app. We need that dog. We need the dog, man.
We have $18 million in cap space, though. We have that still, so we can make a move at some point.
Yeah, I'm not seeing that. I mean, the trade deadline is going to be about mid to late March, I've heard.
Yeah.
So that's when it could get interesting again. The only problem is you're going to have now in each conference probably 11 teams, if not 12 teams, that could still be in something, you know, because now the 7-10 play-in.
Yeah.
Which means the trade deadline, which used to be this team's dumping and that team's collecting, you're right, you'd always have that kind of two sides of it where you'd have, okay, what's the team that's getting rid of pieces and what's the team that's collecting pieces? There'll be fewer of them now. So that's, you know, you won't have, I don't think the trade deadline will have the same amount of movement or at least significant movement that you know, used to have because there'll be more teams engaged. And that's what the league wants. The league doesn't want to see teams dumping off salaries and dumping off players. So I wonder that what you mentioned, that 18 mil is still sitting there.
18 mil is still there.
And don't laugh at me, but if Kid Gilchrist does make the roster, it goes down to 16 million.
Oh.
I know, but
16 million as the New York Bricks, but continue. And I think he has a good shot. I think he has a good shot at making it. I've been saying, I think between Spellman, Evans, and maybe Iggy, they could be battling for the last 2 spots. I think Kid Gilchrist could make it because we need that depth at the wing.
Yeah, he's a pro and he can defend. I mean, but obviously I need guys that can make shots, and he does struggle with that. But that doesn't mean, again, a pro that can defend. I need a guy like that. They know him well, obviously, and more Kentucky guys, the better.
Another guy that came up as recent as last night in terms of trade rumors, and we talk about having that cap space. What do you think about Buddy Hield? What's your honest assessment of Buddy Hield and a potential transaction there?
He's a terrific player. The contract's fairly reasonable when you think about it. Obviously, shooting is everything with him, and the last game he played at the Garden, he put on a show, if I'm not mistaken. He tends to be a bit miserable, though.
Yeah.
It's impossible to keep him happy. Do we know that they're moving on from him, though? Because
might not be likely since Bogdanovich left.
Yeah, they let Bogey go, which sort of suggests to me that they fixed the issue at the starting position. The starting 2 now is his. It's his job. So I don't know him to be somebody that would be on the move. Now, the first thing you do is you always say, all right, what's his affiliation? Who represent him? Is he a CAA guy? That's always the thing to check. I don't believe he is, so I don't know if there's some. You always go with what's, like I said, operate in the shadows, the inside information. He's not happy. He's going to ask for a trade. Let's be ready, right? That's why I was watching to see what all these dudes were going to do, because all right, they're saving all this cap space. They have this flexibility. They're collecting these draft picks. They must be hearing some whispers from someone.
What's next?
Like there's somebody's about to drop a bomb where it's like they were just offered the max extension and they said, no, I'm going to test free agency. And now that team's going to scramble and try to trade him. Who's that going to be? And I was watching De'Aaron, I was watching Donovan, and none of it happened. So now I'm wondering who the next guy is. So I think that's basically what they're doing is just trying to set themselves up for who that next guy is. And I think you guys would know this better than anybody. Do you remember when Anthony Davis first said he wanted out of New Orleans? One of the teams on his list was the Knicks.
Yeah,
right. They didn't have anything that they could offer, and at the time wouldn't put Kristaps in the trade. Let's see, who else wanted out? Kyrie Irving wanted out. Who was the team on his list? The Knicks, and they couldn't make a trade for him. They didn't have enough assets. Griff laughed at him when they offered whatever they offered. Another player that's on the list that had the Knicks on the list was Kawhi.
Yeah,
I wanted out of San Antonio, and who was the team on his list? The Knicks.
Yeah. I don't know if that was true.
No.
The uncle's affiliation, right? Well,
yeah.
You don't believe it?
I don't know. The AD stuff, I definitely believe, because I heard the AD stuff, he was definitely
AD. Yes, Kawhi. No, I feel like he used us for as a pawn.
How could you use it? Well, I get what you're saying, but the Knicks had nothing to offer. So there was like even San Antonio was like, yeah, that's cute. What were you going to give us? So that was out. But the point is that each time, and then we go all the way back to Chris Paul, each time a significant player wanted out of his situation and was willing to come to New York, each time New York had nothing to offer. Right.
Yeah.
So you don't want to be in that position again. And that's sort of where they are. Is maybe they're just trying to make sure that they're now in that position to make that trade when that next player says, I hate Minnesota, I want out of here. Wink, wink.
So you're saying that Julius Randle isn't the player? I'm just trying to be clear.
I'm not saying that at all.
Okay.
Well,
because I know a lot of Knicks fans would like to move Julius Randle.
Julius Randle, how are you feeling right now where everybody's parked outside your apartment going, get in, wherever. Like they just spin dribble your ass to Sacramento. I don't know if that's really what's going on, but I'd feel bad. If I was him, I'd be like, what did I do? You've been here for a year. But that's just where we are right now. We're on to the next one. That's what I feel is the awkward stage right now for this team.
Right.
Is there's guys here who mean well, and fans almost are looking at them like, yeah, well, I can't wait till you're a former Knick. And that's a weird place to be.
Yeah, I mean, I just think Julius, he's catching the Tim Hardaway Jr. treatment. Just a guy that's here. He's playing out of his role. He's the number one guy, quote unquote, and he's trying hard. He says all the right things. Great character. There's nothing wrong with him as a person
He's a good guy.
He's a good guy.
Yeah. He's a good guy. He's just obviously he's got flaws, and that's the reason. How about this, by the way? The Knicks, as you know, are under the cap. You guys have brought that up. Right. A lot under the cap. In fact, they're under the floor.
Mm-hmm.
So they haven't paid luxury tax in like 5 years. Think about that. If you're the league and the richest team in the league hasn't paid luxury tax, like they're not helping out at all, right? Mm-hmm. So beyond that, this is a league where everybody's making, like everybody seems to have a team. Every team seems to have a guy making 40 million at least, right? Yeah. One guy up now near 40. The Knicks don't have a guy making over 20. They have one guy making over 10.
Yeah. Keep it lean, baby.
I love it, man. Keep it lean, keep it mean, man.
There used to be a time where we were like, they're capped out for the next 8 years.
Yeah.
Like
Shandon Anderson, man. Those Shandon Anderson deals.
You remember when they offered Kobe the mid-level?
Oh my God, I do, man. They had nothing to give.
No, it's like, we'll take the mid-level and then we'll give you an extension.
I'm glad those days are behind us.
It's funny how things have changed, but eventually they're going to have to spend it. Eventually they're going to have to get some people here, and we're going to have to wait another year for that.
You mentioned all the guys that they were after and had potential interest in coming here, but they just never seemed to be ready or never seemed to have the pieces. And as we kind of segue into training camp and talk about the camp battles, I want to start with Tibbs. Because Tibbs has kind of gone on record when they ask him about player development, whether it's playing the kids versus sitting, so on and so forth. Seems like he's kind of going with, the Mike Miller, the Fizdale approach. It seems like he's going to lean more towards the vets early, make sure the kids earn it. And then, obviously he talks about the G League and other ways for player development, but it doesn't just seem like he's just going to be out there just playing, 5 kids just to see what they have. What'd you make of some of his comments?
Yeah, I picked up exactly what you just said there. That to me, and I think Austin said this too. He didn't come here to lose.
Yeah.
So he's like, all right, I might not have a ton of talent, but I'm going to play the best talent. And I think he said this even during OTAs too. Right. He fully believes this. Like, you're not entitled to minutes because we drafted you. You have to, because I loved his line about how part of development is learning how to contribute to winning.
Winning, yeah.
Like, that's a big part of it. And he said that starts in practice. Your habits in practice, what you bring every day. When you can show me there that you're doing that, now I start trusting you. I find that to be, again, that's a difference in coaching and a philosophy that some fans might say, they're not supposed to win anyway. So, again, this whole thing about Knox last year, Knox should be playing 40 minutes a night until he figures it out. I don't know. I mean, it's one thing to say, get back out there, kid, and around. There's another time when you go, all right, you've been bludgeoned enough. Why don't you need to sit this one out, maybe watch somebody else for a while and figure it out. I do think there's a balance to it. Mm-hmm. And I like that Tibbs, though, believes earn it in practice, be a professional, show up every day, and then you'll earn that. And then it'll mean more to you that you earned it, that you had to fight a veteran for it, which is why I think Nerlens Noel is looking at Mitch like, lunch. You be the guy, but I play just like you, and I'm going to show you I play it better than you can.
Yep. As long as
I'm telling you, there's nothing. He's not going to get that position handed to him. That's going to be an interesting battle for the 5.
Yeah, as long as there's a balance, because I don't want a situation where Tibbs just leans on the veterans a little bit too much. Like, even when we was doing some research on the point guards that can come here, I was reading a lot about what Jeff Teague was saying, and Jeff Teague was kind of saying that he wished that time would take him off the court sometimes because he feel like he was running him into the ground. Yeah. So I need to have at least a little bit of balance. But speaking of the balance and the way the minutes are divided, we have a lot of wings and point guards on this team right now. So do you feel like there's going to be an odd man out? Like, I'm looking at Frank, I'm looking at Kevin, I'm looking at DSJ, and there's a glut there. And I can't help but think someone could be salty by the time we get to February.
Yeah, I think you're 100% right. He actually even said that too, that somebody's going to have to sacrifice, right? Mm-hmm. He said that too, Tibbs. He said there's going to be, you're going to have to make some sacrifices. He can't play 15 guys every night, but you always have to be ready. It's going to be a test. They say this in the NFL, when you have 3 quarterbacks, you don't have one.
You don't have any.
Yeah. And
same
so
as the point guard.
When you have 4 point guards, you don't have one. That's what they're trying to figure out. And then he'll see what works. And I hate that. right? We always play the game starting 5 game, right?
Yeah.
Opening night starting 5. Who's it going to be? It was, that's a game that used to be fun to play, and now it's not fun because you have no idea who it could be.
Yeah.
That's the most uncomfortable feeling. It always was who's going to be in the rotation, but you knew your 5.
Mm-hmm.
And, again, there's just something about just knowing like it was going to be, Hart and Starks and, Smith and Oak and Ewing. Like, okay, now who's coming in? Like you don't really have that now. And so I don't know. I will say this. Rivers is versatile enough to play both guard positions.
Mm-hmm.
Burks can play both wing positions. Dennis Smith is a guy I feel like he's the first one out of the gate for me.
Yep.
If he shows up
there
right
we go.
Physically.
There we go, J Ellis.
And here's why. And he even said it too, but before he said it is what I was thinking. Tom has to look at him and think, Derrick Rose.
Thank you very much.
Derrick Rose couldn't defend.
Thank you very much.
Couldn't defend a parked car, but it didn't matter. You run him off screens. You use the athleticism. You get him going. Just get him going downhill. I know what you're going to say. I don't trust him.
Thank you very much.
Trust him. Give it a chance first.
Thank you very much, Solo.
You go there and you see what happens, and and I don't say I'm not saying you do it the first night of opening night, but I need to see it in preseason and on the court in practice. And if I like it, I'll go with it. But it's up to Dennis.
Right.
Show up here up.
Yeah.
Dennis has to show up from here up.
That's my concern.
I need to see if he's like, guys, the question I would ask Dennis Smith if I got him one-on-one, because you don't ask guys these kind of questions in like the Zoom thing. That's you don't want to embarrass them. But I would legit say to him, like, do you love basketball?
Right.
I would legit ask him that because it always came easy to him as a high school player. His 1 year of college, his team was terrible. Like they never won, but he put on a show. But when things got tough for him in Dallas, and Rick's a hard, especially for point guards, he's a hard guy to play for. He started having that look on his eye, like, I want to do anything but this. And for a while, I thought he just wanted to be J. Cole's producer instead of.
He just wanted to hang out with Cole World, man.
Yeah, man. Cole was, and he smiled when he saw Cole, and then he turned around on the court and he'd be like, I got to do this now. Like, dude, this is your livelihood.
Yeah.
I want to know, do you love the game?
I don't think he does.
I worry about that.
Well, look, it's now or never to find out. And I said the same thing as you, Alan. I said we did a show on ideal versus predictions. I predicted I think Peyton is going to go in. He's your most reliable option. You know what you have. I think Tibbs is going to go with that. Shortened season. What's that?
I just threw up in my mouth.
Listen, the whole chat did, and salute to everybody in the chat. We got like 2,000 people in here watching.
Shout out to the chat.
I'm sure unanimously they feel the same way. I just feel like trust, understanding what he has. I think Tibbs will go there. With DSJ, I say rip the Band-Aid off, throw him out there. I think with more minutes and the starting job, you give him the confidence.
Gas him up.
Gas him up. Gas him up. Here's the keys. Let's go. And see what you have. He's on the last year of the deal. You traded Porzingis for him. Some people say whatever. He was a throw-in. See what you have. We have nothing to lose. That's all I'm saying, J Ellis.
We have minutes to lose for people who actually want to be here.
Yeah, I want to hear it. I want to hear it, though. Tell me why this is a bad idea in your mind, Jay. Tell me why.
You know what? I understand the rationale. We have guys here who need the minutes. But I just feel like when I look at him, I don't see the heart in him, man. That's what concerns me. Even when I was thinking before Dennis Smith hit the NBA, we were reading about him giving up in the middle of games in college. When he got to Dallas, it seemed like he had a little bit of competition and checked out. And then the same thing to me seemed to happen when he got to New York. I felt like he checked out. He's not present anymore. And to me, I like guys who are a little bit more engaged. Now I get that, he had, some problems last season.
A lot of issues. Yeah.
A lot of issues.
Very personal issues as well, but also, the shot just completely fell off. That got
right
for him. But no, and I also think, like you said, I think he kind of lost his way a little bit and got caught up with a different lifestyle that he was kind of leaning towards. And I think that's why I question the love, the passion for the game, like how bad you love it. And I bet you he'd be so offended if I asked him, right? Because God, like he'd be offended. Mm-hmm. But deep down, he'd understand. Like,
Yeah,
it takes a certain person to recognize that, right? You know what I mean? Like I've been during my playing career to know, like I see that in someone's eye. Like, no, you don't love the game. Like you're talented. You live off the talent, but you don't love it. Like I can tell you don't love it.
Like hard work beats talent when talent doesn't work hard. Give me the guy who's going to work hard any day of the week.
Yeah.
And if you don't want to be here, you can leave. Like there was rumors that Steve Mills had deals signed lined up to get him out of New York, and for whatever reason didn't happen. I think his trade value didn't go. It's in the toilet right now, and we couldn't move him. That's the only reason why he's here, and that's how we have to play him to raise his value. But I hope it works out. For the sake of the trade in this franchise, I really hope it works out. I am for giving him a chance because Tom Thibodeau was here. My belief is just in the toilet right now.
I don't have the most confidence in him. I just say go for it. Roll the dice and go for it. And
well, what are your options?
See what you have, right? What are the options?
You just told me Elfrid Payton, and Elfrid Payton is a nice backup kind of guy. Like he's fine, but I can't have fun. I need to find lightning in the bottle. Like I need to find something that, let me see if something just suddenly sparks. And if this guy shows up and all of a sudden it's like, whoa, Dennis is different this year. He's a little more mature. He's a little more like, he understands now, like this is my life. Like I've got to, like he sounded different in his media session, but obviously I need to see it.
Right.
I just feel like you got to look at your options, and he's still, to me, athletically, physically,
that's a fact,
is still your best option.
That's a fact.
I need to get him right. If I can get him right, it could be a huge payoff.
I have a different. I mean,
go ahead with your guy, because let's go there, J Ellis. Let's go there.
Listen, I'm a Frank guy. He ended the season with 2010. He ended the season with 2010, right? But here's my thing. I know Frank isn't an engine point guard. He's not going to whoopsie-do you, break down the defense off the dribble. He's not going to do anything of that nature. But I know that we have RJ here. I know we have Alec Burke here. And I'm thinking, what if we go another way? What if we go the route of RJ doing a little bit more playmaking and we work that way out? And even if Frank doesn't work out, we have a point guard who can shoot to stretch the floor for RJ and just go another route altogether without a traditional point guard. Just a point guard who can make the open shot, whether it be Austin Rivers, Emmanuel Quickly, or Alec Burke, who's playing point guard sometimes on some weird lineup stuff. Just another direction if we don't have the traditional point guard here that we need.
Well, you can't, and you mentioned Quickly. I wouldn't completely overlook him either in this dynamic, because he does something. He has a very unique skill set that not many other guards on this team have, which is he actually can make shots. He's got a really nice floater. Now, he's not an explosive player.
Right.
What else he can do that Tom Thibodeau will like?
Play defense.
He can defend.
True.
And he showed it in college. So I want to also see what in time. I don't know if he's stepping in and just, he's not going to just take over. Maybe he does. But I want to give him some time too and see what he can emerge into. But here's what I'll say about Frank, and I know now everybody's going to start leaning forward, like, oh, here he goes, right?
Let's go.
Understand something again, like this. I like Frank personally. I've interviewed him. I've done one-on-ones with him. He's such a good kid. It's hard not to root for him and to want him to become something great, right? It's hard not to. But then there's the reality side of it. And the reality side of this player is simple. What we've seen, and I know, here I'm sounding like Hubie Brown now. Okay. But what happens with Frank is the inconsistency of his playing time is what people blame.
Right.
The problem is the inconsistency of his playing time. When you ask everybody that coached him, all three men so far who have coached him, they all say the same thing. I never know what I'm getting from day to day from him. One day he's here and he has those locked in games. We're like, whoa, like, did he just dunk on that dude? Like, did he just step back three? Like, he's locking down defense. And then the very next game, we're like, all right, Frank's established. He's the point guard. And then it's like blank, not here, just non-competitive. Looks confused. Doesn't like pressure on he does not have a tight handle. And when you put pressure on his handle, he's uncomfortable, picks his dribble up, starts his offense out on the logo. And now you got the vets on the wing. And again, if you watch the game from the court, TV takes away some of this stuff. But if you're fortunate enough to be, in the building, You watch vets when he picks the dribble up at the logo. Yeah, they go, oh, well, the play's dead now. Like, what are you doing? And you just see the frustration and the tension build. Now the play's broken. Now the shot clock's winding down. Complete disaster. Now it's whose fault? What kind of coaching is that? It's because this guy picked his dribble up at the logo.
Runs to the corner.
But you're not going to throw him under the bus. Like, you're not going to do that to him. So Frank, the issue with Frank is it's almost like Dennis, hear up.
Yeah.
Right. It's the determination every game to bring it. You hope this coaching staff, with the developers they have, with a guy like Tom, the amount of film they're going to watch, that they could get something out of him and maybe they could reach him to say, you got to show up every single day ready to fight, ready to rip someone's face off. Like your life depends on it. And look, you are what you are sometimes. And I just don't know if he's built like that. And that's the thing. This is going to sound like a hater. I can't trust him to run my team. That's the best I could say. And I think his best attribute is if he can come in as a combo, as a defender, as a shutdown in minutes here and there, that's great. But when you ask him to do that, and I've told this story before and people get really upset, but it's the truth because I've talked to coaches. We have a role for you, Frank. I think it'll be great. Right now, you're not ready to be our lead guard, but if you could be this guy off the ball, we need you to be that guy. Well, he wants to be a point guard. He fancies himself as one.
He doesn't want to play off the ball.
Doesn't want to play off the ball. And so you're not getting him 100% off the ball. You're almost getting him like, as if he's like,
questioning. He's questioning.
His heart's not in it.
Yeah.
So he's not a bad guy. This is what all athletes are like. This is what I want to be. And the coach is saying, but this is who you're going to be for us. And that's that internal battle that's going on. And I just want to see now, okay, Tom's got to look at him and all his physical attributes and the 7'2" wingspan that he's got, right? And the defensive abilities, and say, you would think that he'd be salivating to coach this guy. I've barely heard Tom say Frank's name in any interview when he's asked about it.
Interesting.
Very. I noticed that as well.
He's watched film. He's watched 3 years of film of Frank. 100% guarantee you he's been sitting there eating pizza watching Frank and film of Frank to see what about this kid can I get. And if he's not gushing about him, that's what makes me now hesitate and think if he doesn't see something. And I'm wondering, how much of a role is he going to have on this team going forward? Because other than on social media where his R&B album must be selling great, those pictures of him, that's like, come on. Like, seriously, that's a 90s R&B album. A couple of those pictures of him, right? Like, if I'm on the team, if he's my teammate, I'm killing him for that. I'm like, so when's the album drop?
Frank,
like, what's the first song called?
Frank is that guy, man.
Why Me Baby is his first song.
That Gen Z drip, man. He's a heartthrob. He's a heartthrob. So
he's a good-looking guy. I'm just messing. But
did you panic when his social media photos went down for a second on Nick's Twitter page? Did you?
The conspiracy theories are flying last night, James. Flying off the rails.
Funny. Like, there's every other day there's Frank pictures on Nick's social media. Like, it's fantastic. It's good for him. But
yeah.
But no, that's why I don't know what his role is going to be. I'd be honest about it, and I understand that the Frank Hive, they get very upset. This is so polarizing. I've never seen a player who's done so little for a franchise. So polarizing. Like, let's be honest. What has he done? He hasn't done anything yet. But there's like, you either absolutely love him or you absolutely hate him. You're not allowed to be like me and just say,
there's no in between.
I don't think he's that good yet.
There's no in between, man. Let me hit the reset.
The comments must be just going crazy right now.
The comments are going crazy, man.
They're writing letters right now to MSG. Fire this clown.
It's fine. I'm getting them too. J Ellis, you're crazy. You like Frank.
I love it.
You want him to be over DSJ? You're nuts. We're both going to get it.
You know why I kept the hat, man? I kept the hat from that draft.
So salute to everybody in the chat. Hit that thumbs up button for your boys. J Ellis, Alan Hahn in here. I'm hearing we got the rhyme animal Chuck D in the chat, Alan. He's here for that Knicks talk.
Yeah, I sent him the link, yo.
Absolutely, man. Salute to Chuck. Before we get to the next questions, remember, guys, this show is brought to you by my friends at Manscaped. Guys, it's December. It's holiday time. My friends at Manscaped want to make sure you take care of those jingle bells with the Lawnmower 3.0. That's presented by Manscaped, the #1 men's grooming tool below the waist. What I love about the Lawnmower 3.0, it's aerodynamic, it's sleek, it's got skin-safe technology. Make sure you don't cut yourself. Very important, J Ellis. Those Knicks, very important. Good battery time, cordless, water free. You can take it in the shower. Waterproof, sorry. You can take it in the shower. And for today, go to manscaped.com, enter promo code Knicks, and get 20% off your total purchase plus free shipping. Excellent for the holidays, fellas. Tell the wife, tell the girlfriend. This is the perfect gift to put under the tree. Remember, go to manscaped.com, promo code Knicks for 20% off plus free shipping.
Yeah.
And CP was telling me before the show, everybody that's watching, he likes the video testimonial.
No testimonials. No success
testimonials.
stories. Just go get yours, man. Just go get yours.
Oh, you said you looked forward to those. You get those testimonials. Before and after.
No, email your before and after.
No before and after photos. Just go get it, man. Just go get it.
Couple more enduring.
Yeah, right. couple more for you, Solo. Definitely appreciate the time. We talked about Julius. We have Obi here. How do you feel like they manage minutes, rotation? Where do you feel like they go?
That's going to be interesting to see as well, right? Because you would think they play the same position, and so how do they really work together? But I find it interesting that one thing that I keep hearing is how athletic Obi is.
Yeah.
How Tibbs said versatile he is. His ability to shoot from the outside. His ability to play make, run the floor. What does that sound like he's trying to set up?
It sounds like they're setting up Wiley's narrative and putting him at the 3. This does. Come on, man. Talk to me here, man. You really think they're going to put him at the 3?
No.
Well, I mean, what are your options?
Oh, God.
Bench Randall.
How about I'll ask you this way. Are you sitting your highest paid player?
No. I think Julius is in. Definitely.
100%. Right. Now, you can't play Julius at the 5 and Obi at the 4 because you'll have to score 200 points to outscore that duo. So you have to. The only option you have 2 options. Obi comes off the bench. Nobody wants that. Or you play him. You guys old enough to remember when Kenny Walker came from where? Kentucky. And he came in and he was supposed to be Bernard King's replacement. He was going to be your small forward. What did he play in college?
What did he play?
Played the 4.
The 4.
He couldn't do anything from the outside, but they put him on the wing. They put him at the 3, and he struggled. Kenny Walker, slam dunk champ, incredible athlete, right? Guy could run all day long, never got tired, just absolute freak athlete. But when you put him out of the wing, he struggled, had a hard time, really struggled defending, fouled a lot. So that's what scares me. It's sort of like that. But I do think that Obi at least has something that Kenny never had, which is that outside game, the ability to shoot the 3.
Right.
He's a lot more of a playmaker, a little more like he's got great court vision. You watch his games, he's very aware. He sees the floor well, he moves well, he anticipates well, all that stuff. And the game's different than it was in the late 80s too. Let's be honest. It's a much different game, more space out there. I do think you can.
They're setting it up.
I do think that's an option that they'll try. They'll try to make it work. But I'm with you. I'm not 100% comfortable with it.
Yeah.
But I keep hearing about how athletic he is and how versatile he is.
They're setting it up, J Ellis.
Yeah, that's.
I just can't. I know he has a while to go as a defender. His stance is a little wobbly at this point, and I trust Kenny Payne can fix that, but it just seems like that problem will be exacerbated playing small forward rather than power forward. It just seems like it's going to be way worse.
But what are your options at the 3? You putting Reggie Bullock there. I mean, is Kevin going to be good enough there?
I think Kev's going to be on an uphill climb regardless, but I think they would put Bullock in there. But I mean, Obi. The thing with Obi, I feel like he has time. Let the Randall thing play out. Maybe they have a trade for mid-season, and maybe Obi finishes games.
But how do you get 20 plus minutes for Obi, and yet Randall still gets his minutes too, and they're effective enough? I just feel like that would create more of a problem. And we also know that Tibbs is a guy that has a 5, and he'll play that 5 till their tongues are hanging out.
Right.
He wants to play a 9-man rotation, but number 7 and number 8 and number 9 are going to get in for like 30 seconds. They're not going to play a lot. So that's my other question is we know how, if you know Tom and his history, that's how you sort of try to project things. You watch what he did with certain teams and certain players that he would have in different places. And I mean, well, dang, didn't he play him at the 3?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah,
like, so it's, but also Luol Deng could guard 4 different positions.
Yeah.
I just think that might be their best option right now until they figure out, the Julius Randle future thing. And maybe it's a way to not have to make Obi feel like you've got to be our star, you've got to carry this team. But to be honest with you, if they're going to do anything and even try to compete for the 7-10 play-in, Obi's going to have to probably be their best player.
I just think he might overtake Randall, to be honest with you. Maybe not from the jump, because
yeah,
maybe that happens too. You never know. It could happen. So
yeah,
interesting. But you're asking me again. You're asking me how are they going to handle it, and I'm telling you that's I really believe him when he says there's going to be competition for every spot. That includes spots that you think are locked in.
Yeah,
I don't think anything's locked in. He'll probably take the 5 that play the best together, no matter who it is. So it could be anyone at this point. I just wish I could be in the gym watching, because that's my favorite part is training camp, watching the scrimmages and watching that stuff and just seeing it develop. And we don't get to do that this year.
Interesting time and certainly unfortunate. But you mentioned the 5, and a lot of speculations from the fans on how Tibbs feels about Mitch. Tibbs went in on media day and said he wants to see some professionalism and some more growth, and he has things to work on, and things of that nature. I take it as just trying to keep him focused and keep him engaged. And then there's Bondi, the Daily News, came out with a piece that said USA training camp, they had some issues with his commitment and things of that nature. What do you think the organization really feels about Mitch right now?
I think Bondi's on point. I think that you spent some time with him. And I think Tom is trying to sort of set that tone that you might have gotten away with some stuff around here over the last year, but that's going to stop now. And you need to show up on time every day and be a professional. When you hear a coach talk about a young player, and when he's talking about things he needs to learn, and professionalism is the first word he uses. Yeah. That rings an alarm for me.
Yeah.
Because when he talked about Kevin and we talked about RJ, I didn't hear him ever say professionalism.
Right.
Show up every day at ready to work at practice, like show up every day ready to work. That stuff is that's like me saying to you, see, when you wake up, make sure you breathe in, then breathe out.
Yeah, right.
Like I don't say that stuff, right? So when I hear those words from an experienced head coach, that tells me, there's something happening there, and to keep an eye on it. And then when Nerlens is asked, are you cool with coming off the bench? Like, what do you think your role is here with Mitch here already established? And he's just like, yeah, I'm going to compete. We do the same thing, I shot 65% from the field, and, 30% of my field goals made was dunks. And, I'm one of the best rim protectors in the league, statistically over the last year. So we kind of do the same things, and yet I do them better because I understand team concept and I understand professional.
More discipline.
Like, he didn't say it, but he sort of said, and then he threw in that, I want to be a big brother. I want to be a mentor.
Right.
Of course, I want to set an example, but I'm Mitchell Robinson shouldn't just walk in here thinking, I've got this. This is mine. Let's remember, they found him. Right. Like, this was like a neon thing from Blue Chips. Like, they went the bayou and found him, dunking on, chain nets and stuff in some barn. Yeah. So, they found him. He never really has been coached. Never has been coached. And the little bit of coaching he's gotten so far with the Knicks, little by little, I think, I'll tell you what, DeAndre Jordan probably taught him the most of anybody since he's been here.
Sure. Absolutely.
And so they really now not just got to teach him technique and in a game and how to stay locked in, but they've got to teach him and understand, all right, you're a professional now. Like, your team depends on you, and you can't just get mad because somebody grabbed the rebound and just use up one of your fouls out of frustration. Like, you can't do that. Or you can't not pay attention to the scouting report, because he's got so much raw physical talent. It's scary how good he could be. And remember, Carmelo Anthony said that. That kid has no idea how good he can be. The scary thing is if he never realizes how good he can be. And I think that's what Tom has to make sure doesn't happen.
Yeah, I agree with you, man. It was a little I scratched my head a little bit when he left the bubble a little earlier from the team practice, and they had to send Mike Woodson over there to kind of work out with him. that was a little bit of a head scratcher.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I'm not sure if it was serious or not. They claimed that it was like a family issue or whatever. But
it was, yeah. Okay. He wanted to get back to 10 to something, but I'm not going to pretend to know all the details. But I do know, again, like what, when you're dealing with people that are, we're serious about what we do, you take care of that personal stuff and you understand that you let everybody know, all right, well, I'm going into this bubble now and I won't see you for 2 weeks.
Right.
Understand that. I'm going. And so let's take care of this now because I got work to do.
Mm-hmm.
Mitch is still looking at this not as work, but as a game. And so it's a mentality thing and they're just trying to help him mature. I know Woody very well. And Woody's a guy that, as you know, straight shooter.
Mm-hmm.
I can't imagine that his conversations with Mitch when he went to go talk to him were, hey, it's okay. You remember what he said to Cope? Do you remember that thing with Copeland at practice? One of my favorite things.
I don't remember what he said.
We had him mic'd up one time and he's walking around and I think they were doing like it was either it was in a scrimmage and Cope might have got it like cutting through the lane and just did like this kind of turnaround like with two guys on him. Woody stops it and he goes, hold up. He goes, what's your name? Right? He goes, Copeland. He goes, is your name Carmelo? Like, no. He goes, well, if your name ain't Carmelo, you don't take that shot. Like it was like in front of everybody. Yeah. But so I'm sure that when Woody had that time with Mitch, he kind of let him know like what you're supposed to be doing and what you shouldn't be doing. Maybe got to him. So I'm curious to see, when Mitch does show up and comes to work,
right?
He's in that right frame of mind to be ready to work and mature. Yeah. Just remember what he comes from. Like this is going to be all new to him.
It's raw. Yeah.
Extremely raw. He's never had that kind of structure. He's never had to have discipline. And these are things that these guys are going to demand from him. Yeah. And they also got to teach him.
Yeah, he taught J.R. Smith, so I think he teach Mitch too.
We'll see how he takes to it, but exactly. It seems like again that they're trying to build that structure. They mentioned a lot of times that they want to be teaching these kids, between Woodson and Kenny Payne and Tibbs, and they bring in Aaron Brooks and some more development staff. So let's see. I hope they're very serious about trying to build that foundation from within.
I think they are. Ehrman's another guy. You don't overlook the addition of him. I think from this defensive standpoint, he's really good not only as team defense, but excellent in positional. Like, where do you belong? Like, you could take a guy like I love this about Jason Kidd. Was he ever the fastest guy?
Yeah, no.
Right? Was he ever fleet of foot? Jason Kidd, even at 40 years old with no hair on his head,
one of the best point guards to come through here.
Yeah. Jason Kidd always knew where to be positionally to help the rest of the other four guys. He didn't have to move a lot. Yeah. He just knew, I got to get here. Now I got to get here. And it just took a little effort, but it's all you got to do. Move your feet, get to that spot, and now you've helped your teammate. And sometimes younger players that don't understand that, Kevin would do this. Kevin would be in his fog because I missed 2 shots. I feel bad about myself. I got crushed on Fortnite last night. I can't get my I got this 12-year-old kid. He's just talking crap to me the whole night. But so Kevin's head's somewhere else defensively, and now, no, you're supposed to be 3 feet forward. You're not there, and somebody comes through the lane too late. And now you've got your teammates looking at you going, you're not there. You're supposed to be there, barking at you, and now it's affecting you more mentally. Now everybody's mad at me. Well, I don't understand. So defense is not, as we always say, like Obi can't play defense. His hips are too high. He can't move his feet. But if Obi understands where he's supposed to be on the floor, then he'll be fine defensively. He won't be all defense.
Nah,
he'll be fine defense. And I think that's something that hopefully this group will teach, because there's not enough talent for them to just out-talent teams. But if they are disciplined and structured, they can get their share of wins against, some of the lesser talented teams, and maybe even surprise some of the more talented teams that maybe aren't really fired up to play a team like the Knicks, especially on back-to-backs.
Man, I'm curious to see what you're going to say now, because you have Obi playing the 3. So I want to hear your starting.
He's buying into Wally's World's that narrative, man.
I see what you did. That's it. Oh, Hahn said he's going to start in the 3. Oh, Hahn said, no, I didn't say it. I just said maybe.
Maybe. Okay. Maybe. So what's your starting lineup prediction? It's your favorite question, I know.
Yeah, no, it is. I went Dennis, RJ, and I got to admit, the first time around, so I'll stick with my original because I talked myself out of it, but I went Dennis, RJ, Bullock, Randall, and Mitch. I just said I think they'll bring Obi in and they'll find ways to play him, a lot, and that they'll find places to put him. But I can see that scenario where maybe Bullock doesn't start and they put Obi there at the 3 if he looks like he can handle it.
Yeah,
which they say physically he can do anything.
I had the same, but I had Peyton. I think Tibbs will go Peyton. I had DSJ in my ideal, but I think Tibbs would go Peyton. So I had Peyton.
He's going to have Elf start at the point?
I think so, man. Who else are you going to trust right now? The way Tibbs is talking, he says he wants team development solo. You going to have him have DSJ out there
bumbling the only issue with Alfred is that he can only see out of one eye, right? Did you know that?
What? Wait,
yeah, the eye looks at Randall.
Yeah. Randall's arm. That's what side he can. You didn't know that?
Yeah, I knew that.
Oh no, the chat knows that well. The chat knows that well.
Look at the percentages.
Yeah,
30%.
Yeah, 29%, 30%.
Yeah, then the next highest guy is 9%.
Yeah.
It happens to be RJ, which is at least that's nice. But yeah, I mean, look, and if I'm a point guard on that team last year, who's the one guy that gets buckets? All right, I'm passing you the ball, so I at least get it. So it's no hate towards Alfred. I mean, it's smart, but that to me is the last resort.
Yeah,
honestly, that's the.
I hope so. I hope so, man. But Alan, we definitely appreciate the time. Been a great conversation. Gave us 1 hour, man. We appreciate it, man.
Well, I thought I was taking calls with you guys, man.
Oh, I didn't know.
I told my people to call in.
We could be here. I'll just be respectful of the time. We got some calls loaded up.
No, I come here for the heat.
All right.
Yes. I know it's coming.
Here we go.
Let's go.
All right, so let's take some calls, man. No doubt.
Make sure we cut the video. Hahn wants Obi to start.
Yeah. Let that go Nashville, man.
All right, with you like giving that face like, yeah, you're going to put those up? Yeah. Right, you'll be gas facing me on opening night where it's like, look at him. I know what you guys are doing.
All right, let's go. Ron from Baltimore, kick us off, man. How you feeling, bro?
Alan Hahn is on the show with CP and oh my gosh, and J Ellis. This is my Christmas. Right
Ron, how you feeling, man? Go ahead, bro.
Here's my question for you guys. Do you believe that in the bubble environment where you had Damian Lillard come out and say that he felt it was easier? Yeah. The game was easier. You don't have to be on the road. You can go to your hotel room with your coaches, watch film, be in bed by 11:30 p.m., have some ice cream. Do you think that it's going to help the fact that these young guys with Thibodeau in this bubble environment, do you buy into the fact that maybe some of these rookies may develop even more in the bubble? And then my last question is, Alan, RJ and Obi Toppin, do you buy into this notion that these guys, because Obi's from New York, because RJ embraced New York, that means something to Leon, to have faith in these guys, that we're getting guys that actually want to be here, that it means something for them to put the uniform on. To me, that means something, because if this is going to turn around, I want to do it with people that care about me and you. But that's all I got to say, but I love the show.
Appreciate you, Ron.
All right, Ron. The second question I'll give you first. I mean, RJ was the third pick in the draft. I think he would have been happy, like he was picked. The fact that he has the roots here, that his dad played at St. John's, his mom's, Brooklyn, and she was a track star. I mean, how about he comes from good stock, doesn't he? Mm-hmm. He's got that going on. And I think, this is what happens though. I don't want fans to get too caught up in that whole he wants to be here thing. Porzingis wanted to be here, guys. Like, he wanted to be here. It wasn't until all the other stuff happened that he just, he got into his head. I think his brother got into his head. He got, disconnected, disillusioned. And then, of course, the injury just had him all depressed. But he wanted to be here when he got drafted. When you draft your own players, they are more invested than somebody who's on the outside that you're trying to bring in. When you draft him, he doesn't have a choice. John Morant would have loved to have been a Knick. right? Like, it doesn't matter who it is. It's if you draft him, this is what he wants. Steph Curry wanted to be a Knick. It's true. I was there. So drafting your own players is what develops that. And then if those players become good, people on the outside see it and they want to be part of it. So I feel like that's what you're seeing. And the fact that they have New York roots only makes it better, because I always say the blood in the ground thing. I think it does matter.
I agree.
Obi understands what this is about. Like, he understands it. He has a little deeper understanding. And I do think RJ has, there's something about him that he's wired that way, where he wants this. So that's what I'll say about that. What was the other question?
He asked about basically just having no pressure playing in front of fans, right?
Oh, that's a great question. It's a great question. I said the same thing. What did Austin say yesterday? How about the Knicks never have real home
court advantage, because everybody is on their A game at MSG.
Right. See, and when the 90s, the Knicks were tough at home and they used to beat the crap out of everybody. Yeah, but in the 90s, you didn't have, like, Michael came in and this was his building, right? Reggie came in and he, they were the stars when they came in. They put on a show. They did. It's just the Knicks were good enough sometimes to overcome the show for the most part.
Facts.
When you don't have enough talent, when you don't have a star on your team, that didn't happen. So it's not a home court advantage, because other teams come in and they know there's no stars on that team, so I'm showing out. And that's what you have to deal with every night. The crowd, the buzz, the 50G that's in my pocket because I just wore these sneakers on the garden floor. And so now my sneaker company just gave me extra stack. Like, that's all part of the deal. Like, that. Like, if you open a fresh box that you're only supposed to wear in New York, and there's 50 grand with that box, how do you feel when you got an extra 50? All of a sudden you're like, I'm ready to take on the world right now, right? So that's what playing at the Garden, that's why it matters. I mean, James Harden, you remember that whole thing was it Adidas? They had it was Madison Square Harden.
Yeah.
It was a gigantic billboard that they had right outside the building. And then he had the night before the game on 30th? They had they had a pop-up store, and it was all that Madison Square Harden, all that stuff. And then the next night he put up 61.
Yeah.
So, it's just something about it. So you're dealing with that. With no fans in the building this year, I do think it changes the dynamic overwhelmingly. Absolutely true. Changes the dynamic completely.
I agree.
For the visiting players and for the young players who don't want to hear,
for DSJ, who doesn't want to be booed,
right?
Like he did on opening night.
That you got to hear Ira from Staten Island screaming at you. Right? Like, you don't want that. So I do think that there's something to be said about that, and it should be an interesting dynamic to see this year.
Yeah, I agree, man. Salute to everybody in the chat. Hit that thumbs up button for your boys. CP J Ellis, Alan Hahn in here. Overtime, J Ellis. We got 2,700 in the chat.
Let's go.
We're going overtime with Han Solo. You know what I mean? I thought we were gonna cut it at the hour. He's going national with ESPN, man. So I had to make sure.
I wanted to call you, all your followers. You got millions of followers, and they're hitting me on Twitter like, "I hope you're ready for the smoke." I'm like,
Alan wants the smoke.
Let's go.
All
right, let's do it. Next man up. Let's go to my guy. His nickname is Worldwide Wes. Another Long Island guy too, Solo. This is my guy Wes. What's going on, bro?
Yo, I'm chilling, man. CP, J Ellis, Alan Hahn the Great. What's going on, man? It's an honor, all three of y'all tonight, man.
Yeah, man. Good to hear from you, Wes. What's going on, bro?
Are you out on the island?
Yeah, Wes. Where are you on the island again?
I'm over here. I went to Central Islip High School, CI.
K Solo, yes.
So we played against AJ Price and all of that. That was my era.
Amityville.
AJ Price.
Yep.
I lived in Brentwood for a while. I lived over on Washington Avenue in Brentwood.
Okay.
You lying, Alan. You ain't living in Brentwood. Why
would he lie?
You want, I'll dig up an old driver's license. I'll give you the address. Absolutely.
Yo, that's the hood now, though, Alan. That's you from the hood, man.
It wasn't? Like, when was it?
Yeah, right.
Like what? Because I grew my hair a little bit longer now? Like, all of a sudden, I can't do that. I'm old.
Alan's not tested. What y'all trying to say?
Long Island, stand up, man.
You got to throw the braids in, man. You got to throw the cornrows in.
Don't do that.
I don't think that's gonna work for me on MSG.
Wes, go ahead with your point, bro.
All right. So getting down to business. I'm a big supporter of Frank Ntilikina, right? Not that I think of him as a superstar, as anything more than just a good point guard who can set his teammates up. And
I'm with you.
He's very equipped to play, in my opinion, with when you have other scorers on the court. And you got Obi Toppin, you got R.J. Barrett, you got Julius Randle, assuming all three of them is in the starting lineup. He's a guy who can run the pick and roll, despite everybody keeps saying that he can't run the pick and roll. But if you look at the numbers, he runs the pick and roll well. He guards the pick and roll well. He's one of the better passers on our team, right? Not in the NBA, but on our team, right? And he's the best three-point shooter on our team as far as the guards are concerned. The other two guys shoot abysmal, at least from the corner threes, which Tom Thibodeau
stresses
as part of his offense.
Mm-hmm.
He excels at that. You look at his first year, he was coached. They played Jared Jack over him. You look at the second year he was coached, they got Moutier and played him over him. Two guys who were journeymen, who were signed for 1 year, who you knew were not part of the future. They placed in front of Frank. If you look at the Atlanta Hawks, if you look at the Charlotte Bobcats, and you look at other rebuilding teams who've drafted Miles Bridges, Mikal Bridges, and, Cam Reddish, all of these guys are getting 25, 30-plus minutes out the gate. Not necessarily because they earn them, but there's a duality of ways for a player to develop. And on-court minutes is an important factor. Now, when you're getting players who are journeymen and who has failed in the NBA for 6 years, and you're putting them in a rotation over a guy that you drafted and who's going to be here for 4 years, and you're directly stunting his growth, what is the sense psychologically? How does a franchise, an organization, do something like that? I just think that is so backwards and so idiotic. And then we keep coming up with these phrases and these excuses. Oh, Frank's not ready to start. Frank's not ready to be the point guard. So let's get a guy who averaged 8 points and 7 assists for his whole career and shoots 28% from the three-pointer to go play over him, who's not going to be here next year. I just don't understand the logic behind that. At the very least, Frank is a contributor in the NBA as a backup point guard, and like you said, he can slide over to 2 and play spot minutes, right?
Right.
At the very least, moving forward.
At the very least,
go ahead, Solo, get your point.
So let me answer it then, because again, I mean, I asked the same questions and I asked them to each coach that he dealt with, and the answers were consistent from coach to coach. Again, this is not hyperbole. This is not agenda. This is not narrative. I'm being honest with you. Like, we're just talking here. It's the same exact thing. From day to day, you never know what you're getting from them. And when that happens at the point guard position, it affects everyone else. It's one thing if I'm a center and I'm a young center, or I'm a wing and I'm a young wing, and my head's not in every game, or I don't have the same energy each game, whatever it is. You can hide that guy. When you've got the ball in your hands and you pick up your dribble at half court, the whole thing falls apart. When you're making a pass, when you're coming across, center court, and you make a pass that is like dangerously about to get picked off, because it's just a simple cross, pass.
Yeah.
Like, you're not running the offense, and I can't trust you with the ball because I got 4 other guys I got to worry about, and those 4 other guys are walking back to the huddle and they're bitching about it. They're not going to do it publicly. So you got to understand, like, it is not, we don't like that kid agenda. It's not. First of all, who wasn't, like, everybody was invested in his success because it was such a controversial pick, especially after Donovan played so well. You had to make him something. You're going to tell me that Mills and Perry were not invested in making him great?
I mean, I agree, but even like the Moutier, Ramon Sessions, it kind of did seem like they kind of buried the kid.
Sessions was a vet that they trusted who could at least get you into the offense, right?
Yeah.
Moutier played fast all the time, whereas Frank would play fast sometimes and not all the time.
Right.
I'm telling you from talking to guys, you'd run down the floor and he's not running the ball down the floor. Then he'd run down the floor and you're like, oh, yeah, now we got to run down. Like, it's not easy to play with him. And that's the frustration. He's got to figure that out, and he got better at it. He has gotten. I mean,
I thought he finished strong. I thought he finished strong.
He had a 2010 game last year. He ended with a 2010 game.
Better. His game in Brooklyn was really good. Like, I think he has moments. You know, there was frustration when, you know, he should have been guarding Kyrie on that shot. We all know that. Like, there's certain moments that, you know, you felt like he should have been in that position and they didn't put him in that position. So I agree. But when you ask me the question of why this has happened to him, he's not somebody that you can just play 40 minutes a night and say, we're going to live with it. You can't with a point guard. It's like doing it with a quarterback. You can't. That's a position that if it's affecting the other four guys, you got to dial it back. That's my answer.
And that's kind of even why I said explore some RJ and even Alec Burke, who's had some experience playing point guard in Philly.
With Philly, yeah.
Yeah,
Same
like
thing.
If you're gonna have Frank, when I was even saying have Frank in the starting lineup, and I'm not even necessarily saying playing 40 minutes, I'm saying have those guys be playmakers by committee and not just solely rely on Frank. And that's really what I'm saying. So you don't just get lost in the sauce.
All right, I'm with you on that. Mm-hmm. Now let me ask you this. If it gets to a point where they start the season and Frank is not in the rotation, do you think Tom Thibodeau doesn't know what he's doing?
I mean, at this point, there's so many.
You have to trust him. Like, don't you? Like, there's a guy that knows he's here to win, and he's been around long enough at this point to know who can play and who can't.
Right.
If he's not playing a lot under Tom and Woody,
it's over.
If he's not playing a lot, that's one thing. But we also know Tom. Also know Tom doesn't like to play young guys at all. So it's a balance, like you said. It's going to be. It's going. Huh?
Yeah, this is year 4 now, J Ellis.
Yeah, this is year.
Do or die, man. It's do or die. This is year 4.
I understand this is year 4, but this is also year 4, like we said before. Every time there was always another 3-point guards in front of him for every year, and every time I feel like he got on a semi-roll, he got a groin injury. So I'm not.
So your best ability is your availability.
Exactly. So I'm not even saying that Frank Ntilikina is the savior of the New York Knicks. I'm just saying I want to see a defined role from year to year. That's all really what I'm saying.
And I think I'd like to see him show me what that role is, and I'm hoping it's this year. I am. I'd love to see 4 years of draft picks, 4 years of top 10 lottery picks. I'd love to see them stay together and grow up together.
Right. And
you don't bleed for 4 years to get top 10 picks.
Absolutely.
To not get it right. Like, you got to get them right. And so I want that to happen. I just don't still know what he is. I don't know what he is. Don't know
Absolutely.
what he, like, honestly, I don't know what Kevin is. I don't really, I'm not quite sure what RJ is.
No clue.
And to be honest with you, Alan, too, is like, if he's not playing, he's not playing. Because I'm actually really curious to see what Quickly is, because I feel like the shooting is going to translate.
He's an X factor.
When he's shooting at that volume in college, I feel like that's going to translate, and I feel like defense is going to translate as well. Like, even if he's not a point guard,
3 and 92% from free throw
90
line.
from the free throw line.
Exactly.
You're going 90%. Like, when your slashes are to me, the standard on your slash has got to be at the NBA. If you're a good shooter, it's 48, 40, 90. That 48, 40, 90 guy, and I'm talking about from a wing. If you're a big, it should be over 50, obviously. But 48, 40, 90, you are a legit shooter. So, and I think, Quickly was showing that type of stuff, and he's not an explosive player that gets to the rim easy. Like, he's doing it with floaters.
Yeah.
Right.
So.
And he draws fouls too. So even if he's not getting into the rim, he's still drawing fouls. And now you go into the line, you're shooting 90%. It's all money. So even if Frank isn't going, like, take him out if he's not playing. But I feel like there's other people on this team where I'm even more iffy on, who doesn't bring anything on the offense or the defensive end, where I'm like, all right, I feel like they might be the first on the chopping block now to get minutes when it comes to, who can contribute to this team, in my personal opinion.
Well, if you're asking me, I'll put it on the record. I'd rather see Frank play the backup point guard position than Elfrid Payton.
Yeah.
Me too.
Right? I don't need to see Payton for the whole year. That's no offense to him. I don't need to see Payton for the whole year.
I'm not invested in him. I'm not
invested in
Elfrid. Yeah. And so I'm with you. I'd rather see that. But if I'm a coach, I'd rather put a guy out there that I can trust is going to get my team organized and into an offense and keep us in the flow and not create the issues that I've seen where guys are walking back to the huddle and there's a lot of like just frustration.
I agree with you.
Absolutely. Alan, how you looking on time right now?
Like I said, I'm still waiting for smoke.
Oh, he wants the smoke.
The line.
You want the smoke? Okay, let me see who we got here in the switchboard.
Are you guys trying to get me off this thing? By the way, are you like
no? You know what? Listen, I'm just being just making sure you're good on the time. Just making sure you're good on the time.
I told you have me for the night, so when you guys are done, I'm done.
Let's do it. All right, let's go with my guy down in Florida, Jay from Florida. What's going on, bro?
Yeah, run it up for your boys. Hit that thumbs up.
Yes,
hit that like button, subscribe, do all that.
Yes, sir.
Hey, man. Like I've been saying the last couple nights, CP, Alan Hahn was good. J Ellis was good. Mitch is an idea, right? Mitch is an idea. I feel like they're not taking Mitch seriously. I want to ask Alan, do you think it was a possibility of them actually trading Mitch before the draft to move up in the draft?
Yes.
Yeah. Do you think they were seriously entertaining
idea? But looking at the way Tom is talking about Mitch, I wouldn't have been surprised if they would have traded him for LaMelo on draft night, right? My second question is, I'm a draft guy. You know, season is cool. We like the games, but I like the draft because I want to win consistently for the next 10 years. I don't want to win for 2 years and then be back to square one. Who do you want to see them pick? Do you like Cade Cunningham? Do you like Suggs? Do you like Green? Who you like? Run it up. And then we were anti-Halliburton the whole 6 months, right? Halliburton was not the move. Let's go. Run it up for your boys. Alan Hahn, respect. Out.
Let's go, Jay.
We didn't.
Jay must have heard my show. Jay had to have heard my show today. He just wants me to go off like I did. I went straight Mad Dog. I listened back to it. I'm like, how did I turn into Mad Dog Russo? I couldn't take it anymore because I had this caller and he did the same thing. You know, like first of all, let me just clarify. So from what I understand, I think this had been reported also. So I don't think I'm breaking new ground here. I know Golden State was shopping that 2 pick.
Yeah, for sure.
And one of the scenarios, I believe, and I think Zach Lowe had this. So I don't think I'm not giving any breaking news here, but I believe one of the scenarios that they were looking at was the 2 pick for the 2 pick Wiggins contract go to New York, and Mitch and the 8 go to Golden State. And then the Knicks would have targeted Wiseman.
Right, that's right. Yeah, the Wiseman stuff.
They didn't work him out, but I know they loved him. Like, wow. He's got great potential, and it fits their timeline when you think about age and youth and development, all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
It's the Wiggins contract that kind of made you just
yeah.
I mean, and Tom knows Wiggins pretty well, so I think he probably would say I'm all set there. But that's one I think that was one of the scenarios. I don't think it was for LaMelo though. I don't believe LaMelo was really a target.
Wiseman, the Wiseman stuff was there. It was real.
Kobe was always their target.
Holy cow! I know that.
I understand. They loved him. I mean, he worked out all summer with Rick Brunson. You guys know Rick Brunson's pretty tight.
Of course.
So, like this, there was a relationship that had developed already.
He was family long before.
Well put. That's exactly how I'd put it. So that part of it, yes. But can we not talk about the? Can we just play a game?
And my guy found a way to take a jab at Halliburton for one good match.
I get it. It's probably going to be another lottery. You might as well start watching college basketball. I get it. There's a bunch of young guys that are exciting to watch, but can we play a game? I see one game before I start thinking about tanking and the lottery. And as I said today on the show, already, Knick fans, you understand, right? When you start rooting for losing, then Maurice Endauer makes a layup. And
the Endauer game is still a nightmare. The Endauer game is still a nightmare.
Why did we never re-sign him, CP?
For good reason.
Whenever you start talking about losing and draft positioning, when you start saying about when bad things happen, bad things
juju.
like pictures of Zion in a Knicks jersey,
candles, and
you fall 2 spots. Like that's just what goes on here.
We might have dodged the bullet, man. He hasn't been healthy yet, man.
It's a heartache, man.
No. Don't laugh. The jury's out on him, man.
It is. It is.
I'm a little nervous with the whole conditioning thing. It's kind of weird.
His want it is something that I think some people are watching closely, and if Stan can get it out of him.
Interesting. That was an interesting pickup for them for sure. So to everybody in the chat, once again, hit that thumbs up button for you boys. CP, J Ellis, Alan Hahn in here. Sure. He wants to smoke. Let's go. Let's go to South Carolina, J Ellis. Let's bring my man Ron Cleveland in the building. Ron, what's going on, bro? How you feeling?
Man. CP, J Ellis, Alan Hahn. Man, let's just get right into this thing of Frank, man. Playtime is over, you heard me? Let's just talk about Frank. Frank is a combo guard. What is a combo guard? Is not someone that you hold exclusively at the point or at the two. You can play him at either position. I know some people in the chat probably saying, well, Frank can't shoot. Well, Frank is a 3-and-D guy. Frank shot 46% from the corner three. The guy shot over 80% from the free throw line.
Get the numbers.
And when you look at how our team looked when Frank was on the floor this past season compared to that bum Peyton who we brought back, Frank looked better than him. And DSJ, we know he can't run a team. He can't run a rec league. So all that talk about bashing Frank, and let's talk about defense. Before Frank got to the Knicks, we had point guards that was allowing guys to come in the garden, make steak, had their girlfriends come in, driving Lamborghinis, doing what they want to do, putting up career numbers. Guys who were career backups coming in the garden, putting up career numbers. When Frank came, all that stopped. Frank is an elite defender. What we love the most is defense, and that's why I'm happy we got Tibbs, and they're going to find a spot for Frank. Even if he's not on the Knicks roster, I tell you this, he'll go someplace else, and he'll be in the league 10 years, and we'll be saying to ourselves, oh, man, here goes another one we had that we let go. So with that, man, I'm out. Man.
So we got callers with their own intro, man. This is what we do here.
Yeah. That's impressive. I'll have what he's having though. Like all of that stopped. Did you forget that I told you James Harden went for 60?
Yeah, right. Madison Square Garden, right?
Monte Graham, remember that game? I mean, how many times did a guard come in and shred the Knicks?
Yeah.
Wait a minute. When did it stop?
Hey, Alan, we beat the Rockets. RJ Barrett.
You make me have to be a hater. You make me do this because you create this. You create this fictional character that you call
we cape for the kids,
Frankie
man.
Smokes.
We cape for the kids.
No, we call
that guy doesn't exist. What you are seeing doesn't exist. He comes in and he just locks it down, and the team plays better, and he sits in the corner and just drills threes. What? No, he doesn't. He hates being in the corner. Ask him. He can't stand it. Why does he stand with his hands on the hips when he's in the corner? Because he doesn't want to be there. Why? Both on his hand. Come on, guys.
True.
I love Knick fans. You guys take somebody who's like, like whatever he is, and you turn him into some fictional superhero.
We're trying to see the development, man. No one has broken the curse of Charlie Ward yet.
Exactly.
We're hoping that Frank is the guy. No one has broken it.
But you guys are out. You guys are out of your mind with some of these, like what you turned Pablo Prigioni into. What you turned. Like I mentioned Cope, but I mean, give me some other.
Cope was my guy. Teray Murray. I stand for Teray Murray, man. That was my guy. I had hopes for Teray at the point guard.
I actually like too. But how many people?
Marty Collins.
Now, tell everybody right now. Put a thumbs up. Put a thumbs up if you thought Alexei Shved was the answer.
Oh, that was me. That was my guy. If Shved was your guy, put a thumbs up in the chat. I had hopes for Shved, man. I like tall guards, man. I thought Shved was going to be the guy, bro.
Yo, you guys create these fictional characters and turn them into superheroes. Like, God bless you for it, but it's like, Jeremy Lin had a great 6 games.
Yeah.
He had a great 6 games.
Yeah. I tell people all the time, be realistic about that. They say, we haven't had a point guard since Lin.
And I love that. He's a good dude. I had a great time with him. We did the whole reunion thing. He came on the show. I had a great conversation with him. I'm happy for his success. I am happy for him. Mm-hmm. It is, again, not the hater thing. It's just it's the realistic thing.
Be realistic.
Be realistic. Even he laughs at it. He's like, I don't know. It's just wherever I go, they love me. It's like that's a good thing. But oh my God!
Listen, I like Frank
in the game, and their team plays better, and he locks down. I'm sorry, didn't Devontae? Was it?
I like Frank. He gives us good defense in spurts. I tell you, Frank is replaceable, man. He's replaceable. Every team has a Frank on the team.
It's the truth is somewhere in the middle, Alan. Is somewhere in the middle. He's not a superhero, right? But he has played good defense in the spurts, and he does shoot good in the corner three. He shoots bad everywhere else, but that corner three, he shoots really good in the corner.
Instagram makes him look like the third member of Jodeci.
That's right. That Gen Z drip, man. All right, let's go a couple more. Let's keep it Long Island, man. My guy Dan from Long Island. What's going on, Dan? How you feeling?
Yo, what's good? What's good, fellas? Yo, glad to hear you guys. Yo, Alan Hahn. I'm from Brentwood, kid. I'm from Regis Park. Where'd you grow up in Brentwood?
I was off Washington Avenue on the north side.
Oh, so you were near like the country club there, like the up there.
Not
right?
in the country club. See what you're trying to do? On the other side of Washington.
He was an aristocrat in Brentwood.
No. I'm just saying that's the golf course over there.
No, I know the golf. Yeah, no, there's a golf. I know the golf.
I got a question.
On the other side.
Kevin Knox. Kid's got no motor. Kid can't defend. Kid looks lost all the time. How does he fit on a Thibodeau team?
It's a great question. The motor's got to be there. That's always been the question for him. Mm-hmm. If anybody knows it, it's Kenny Payne. He spent time with him in Kentucky trying to get that motor revving. I agree with you. I do think his awareness is, on a scale of 1 to 10, is usually at a 2 defensively, and that's a problem. I think the game happens too fast for him sometimes. Mm-hmm. He means well. He's a gym rat. This isn't a guy that doesn't care. It's just sometimes that you're as good as you are. I think he's got physical tools. I don't know if he knows how to use them.
Yeah.
So he's somebody that,
But then let me ask you a question though. So then, Calipari is always gassing his guys. Like, when are we going to figure out that that's what this cat does? He just tells us all his players are great. And, I'm just concerned. I hope the young man we got at the end of the first round isn't another one of these Calipari joints on us. You know what I'm saying? At what point do we?
Did you ever watch Quickly play? You ever watch Quickly play? You ever watch him play?
Dan, have you seen?
They don't perform.
Have you seen Quickly play? Have you seen Quickly play?
Hang on, Dan. Hang on. Kentucky players don't perform.
90 seconds.
Sure.
Go ahead, Alan. Go ahead.
Kentucky players don't perform in the NBA.
It's ours so far.
No,
Randall's okay. Randall's fine.
Record,
it's exaggerated.
Knox might just be a lemon. We'll see.
Players from Kentucky in the NBA. There's no other program in college that has more players in the NBA currently than Kentucky, and most of them are very good players. It's just Kevin is a guy that Cal said out of the gate. We had him on.
Yeah. 60 seconds.
That you're going to have to be patient because it's going to take time.
Yeah.
You don't expect him to be great right away. And, Cal was right.
Listen, Cal is going to big up all his players. That's what he does. He's a coach. What is he going to do? Tell you the kid's not good? You know what I mean?
Yeah,
he's a salesman. Yeah. You know what I mean? But listen, Kentucky has a good track record. Knox might be a lemon. We'll see what happens. But I got to think quickly he's going to come in. At the very least, he's going to space the floor for you. He's going to knock down the jumper. The point guard will be his swing skill. That I think that will tell you where exactly he needs to be. I think with Quickly, maybe he didn't get a chance to really showcase himself at the one because he shared the backcourt with Higgins and with Maxey as well. Kentucky, when they're in there you have 5 beasts, the best of the best in high school basketball, playing one and done. They don't get a chance to really, showcase themselves that much. So I think we don't know exactly what Quickly is from a ceiling standpoint, and time will tell.
Yeah, I completely agree. I'm curious to see where Quickly fits, but don't say he's another one of those guys. If you watch them play, he's SEC Player of the Year. That's got to be something, doesn't it?
Yeah.
By the way, who else is in the SEC? The guy that went number 1.
Anthony Edwards.
I think he'll be fine. He just needs to get some time.
Yeah, man. Absolutely. All right, let's go one more for Solo. Let's go to my guy. Still in Long Island. Long Island's in here repping heavy, man. Salute to everybody in the chat. Let's go to
call in.
Raw Hebrew Remnant. What's going on, bro? How you feeling?
Oh, Raw Hebrew. What up, bro?
Good
evening, my brothers. Good evening. You know what? Alan Hahn, salute from the Strong Island. I got you. I don't agree with anything you're saying, but I got you. You're my brother. Alan Hahn from Strong Island. I'm from West Babylon and Hempstead, or we repping in here. Okay, Frank Ntilikina.
Oh, boy.
Alan kept repeating this one phrase tonight. He kept saying, all three coaches that I talked to X about Frank Ntilikina. That's like saying I got married at 19 and divorced. I got married at 20 and divorced. I got married at 21 and divorced, and I still don't understand how to run a relationship. Give me a break.
I see where he's going. I see where he's going.
I know what you're saying.
And we're talking about upside. So look, listen, I'm gonna tell you straight up. I will trust what Tibbs' judgment is. I will trust what his judgment is. If he decides Frank can't play and sits him, I'm not going to complain.
Okay.
Because one thing I am very confident in, and I'm I have not been this excited about a coach since we got Pat Riley. One thing I'm very confident in is if whoever is his rotation will have earned those minutes, and I'm very confident in that. Now, with regard to Frank, as my man Ron Cleveland said, he can play the 1 or the 2. He could guard 4 positions, no question. But I'm saying to you, Ron was a little off. Look at the stats. Frank shot 52% from the corner 3 last year. Not 30, not 52. My man Tibbs is running his offense to get open looks from the corner. Thibodeau not only said that everybody's going to earn his minutes, he's stressed, and we all know this. So when you're talking about now Mitchell Robinson, we know he's got talent. What Tibbs said, as Alan said, and as y'all said, is very true. He mentioned professionalism, showing up for work. Okay, I get that. But with Frank, come on, man. He's the most team-first guy on the team, period. And he's one of the top defenders on the team. Ask Luka Doncic. Ask Trae Young. Ask Westbrook what Frank could do. Because they all have felt the wrath. So I'm saying to you, listen, I think the kid is ready to start giving the key. First of all, if y'all talking about inconsistency, right, listen to this. I'm saying to y'all, if you put that boy out there in his second year or third year for 20 straight games, look, they won 31 games, 29 games, 17 games, 19 games. What the hell they got to lose? You put them out there for 20 straight games and he screws up, and then you talk to me about, well, we don't know what we're going to get every night. Put him out there and let's see what he got for 20 games. At least, daggone Moutier started like 50 games the year he was here. So
I said what I said.
Go ahead, Alan. Go ahead.
You have Tom Thibodeau now. You just said you trust him. And you know, so that's why I said this is where we'll see. Because Tom is the guy that you would think would look at Frank and see all the things that you guys see and say, I can mold that, I can turn that into something. Or he'll watch him in training camp and just see what the other coaches saw and feel it's time to move on. Because, you know, again, that's not their pick. That's not their guy. They can always let him just go ahead into free agency. They don't have to pick up his option. So that's something, or qualify him, actually. He's in that year. So that's something that I think is going to be real interesting to watch. I want to see it. And after OTAs, I was kind of hoping to get a little like something out of Tibbs that made it sound like he can't wait to work with this kid, and I didn't get it. So now as training camp begins, let's watch it. And that's all I ask. Everybody that's all, you know, on the, you know, Frank is great side. If you trust Tibbs, then this will be this is the final say. That's all I'm asking. That's all I'm saying. Let this be the final say. And if Tibbs turns around and turns him into an all-star, I'd love that.
Yeah.
So it's not, I'm not rooting against it. I don't have any evidence that tells me that's going to happen.
Well, hopefully he can buy into a role. I think it's still off ball, man. But as you said, if he's not going to embrace it, you know, how much are you really going to get out of him there? It's going to be interesting. I mean, it's just to see how I would like to see them use, you know, some 3-guard lineups. Frank, RJ quickly, Frank, RJ, Rivers. Mm-hmm. You know, I think they could do some damage, man.
I think I want to see them run. I want to transition. I'll get up and down the floor.
Get up and down the floor.
Get up. Yeah, exactly. I'd like to see a fast-paced team that plays hard up and down the floor instead of half-court stuff because they don't have enough talent to play half-court, in my opinion.
No, that's the worst half-court defense in the league. Last question for you. A lot of the fans are interested in Brazdeikis, man. What do you think the organization sees Iggy in this whole equation? I kind of see him, but I don't know. I think it's going to be an uphill climb for him, but what do you think?
Yeah, he's a lot in his way. There's a lot of people in front of him. When I watched him in the G last year, he could definitely score, but he still struggled defensively in the G. So, defense could be an issue. I don't know if his feet are fast enough, right? Like, I think he's got a nice offensive game. Just don't know if that game really translates at the position he's got to play in the NBA, and then he's got a bunch of bodies in front of him. It's not going to be easy. Does he make the roster? I think that's something that is a question right now. And it all depends on how many players they allow you to keep, because there's some talk that they're going to expand it to 13 to 15.
Yeah.
So that could be helpful. And then, the G's going to play in a bubble.
Right.
So it's not like you're just going to, go to Westchester. Like, that's not happening. So, Iggy's in a tough spot. He is in a tough spot.
For sure, man. For sure. Yeah. Well, Solo, we burned the midnight oil on this thing, man. The Frank Hive came. You wanted the smoke. Frank Hive came with the smoke. Absolutely, man.
This was fun. Thanks for having me. And again, I salute you guys for what you do, the passion you show. I mean it. There's mainstream media and there's that regular coverage, but there is something I love, the genuine about the coverage that guys like you bring. Because it's a lot different. It's more, to the heart and more passionate. And it says something of a team that hasn't done anything in a decade, right? Legit, right? Hasn't done anything in a decade. And has had a lot of rough times. And yet you've got a huge audience of people watching, your streams. That says a lot about how important, this team still is to people. And that's why it tells me how much I want to see them get this thing right, get this thing on track. And I feel like that's my responsibility, right? To make sure that it's not like I'm not turning a blind eye to things that are wrong, that we point it out, because no one deserves this more than the fans. No one does. True. So what you guys do is valuable. It's important, and keep doing it. God bless. Thank you, man.
Appreciate it, man. And I figured before the show goes national, Alan Hahn, this might be the last one, man. Next appearance, you might have to go through his people, J Ellis. You know what I mean? The price is going up to Solo. He's flexing the Emmys in the background. Yeah, shows going national.
Check him out.
I know, big things popping, man. The aristocrat from Brentwood. Never forget it.
Numbers going to change. I see it happening.
Alan, thanks again, man.
Always have time for you guys, though. Always have time for you guys.
All right, man. Take it easy.
All right. Appreciate you guys.
That's Alan Hahn of MSC Networks and ESPN. Hit that thumbs up button for your boys.
That was epic.
He wanted the smoke, J Ellis.
Oh, man.
And he got the smoke.
He got it.
From the Frank Hive.
The Frankie Smokes. I don't even say Frankie Smokes. I've never used that. I've never used that moniker ever, but it just seemed like this situation called for it.
Yeah. Now, great show. Great show, man. Salute to everybody for definitely tuning in. It was a lot of fun. Let me salute some of these super chats real quick, Jay.
Oh, that was fun.
Yeah, man, a lot of fun. Listen, again with Frank, man. I'm Frank Hive. We'll see where he fits into this equation. If they want to go Frank DSJ or figure out some sort of hybrid point guard situation, I would be all for it.
It's obviously they're pushing DSJ because DSJ is all over the place right now. He's in the social medias. He's doing the talks. We haven't even heard from Frank, from the media yet. And that's not typical. We usually see him by now.
See what happens tomorrow, right? We haven't heard from Mitch, haven't heard from Randall, haven't heard from Frank. So probably tomorrow, you would think that we'll hear from them, man. Yeah, what you guys think in the chat, man? Let us know what you guys thought about the show. Hit that thumbs up button for you boys. We got 2,700 people watching on Knicks Fan TV. Salute to everybody watching on Knick of Time show. Salute to everybody watching on Facebook, Twitch, wherever you guys at. The chat is going crazy. I hope I slowed down the chat. If I didn't, my bad. No, I did. But even still, it's a lot of comments coming through.
Yo,
so man.
Let me shout out some chats.
Go ahead, bro.
Let me just because they've been rocking me and chilling.
Yeah,
but shout out to Chris Rhetoric, Brother Earl, Will from LI, my guy, another LI guy representing.
Yo, Will from LI, yes sir.
Yep, Trell Stepiter, Moise Perez. Shout out to you, my guy Fritz, always holding down. Shout out to
Fritz
all
holding
the mods.
it down, man. Always supporting us, bro. Salute to Fritz, bro.
Fritz is the man. I don't even know if Craig is in here, but Craig holds me down as well. So I don't know if you're here or not right now, but shout out to you.
Absolutely. I want to shout out boy Kev, what's going on? Team hashtag new. Everybody repping team hashtag new. Appreciate it. Joe Demand, he says, thank you, CP. Thank you, J Ellis. Yeah, man, definitely thank you guys, man. The fans are repping, like Alan said, bro. The fans are still here. We got Vampiro 2120 Las Vegas in the building. Salute to Vampiro. Chico Fernandez says, what a show. Johnny Grayson, another great show. Frank Scott says it was the Frank show.
for the second half, it was. The second half, it definitely was.
It was. Hey, man, Frank Hyde, they love Frank, man. They love Frank. Andre Beckford said Frank is going to start this year. Drip more, Bass Cuts, great show. A lot of new people in the chat, man. A lot of new people.
Yeah. Shout out to the new one. Well, shout out to Michael Ryan and for the super chat. Says great show, guys. And shout out Will from LI too, who for the super chat. Yeah, I don't keep no monies. The monies that I get, I be giving to Fritz and to writers who write for me. And so thanks for anybody who contributes to the Nick of Time show. Y'all contributing to the people who help me out and build
Absolutely, man. We put it back in this thing to build it and to keep growing. That's just the honest truth. So we definitely appreciate all the support. Rob Clark says, best show ever. Desmond Jordan, appreciate it. He says, team hashtag new. I was put onto the show by my brother a few months ago and I'm addicted. Great content, CP. Keep it up. Thank you, Desmond Jordan. We got the R. He says, Knicks Fan TV, the hottest show in the game. Great guests on the regular. Appreciate it. Brooklyn Student 73. He said, J Ellis, CP, and Hahn. Brooklyn, Queens, and Long Island. Totally true indeed.
That was dope. I like that.
Yeah,
super chat. Shout out to super chats coming. Shout out to you guys. SK says you won me over. Alan Hahn coming from a Frank stan. Alan Hahn won over a Frank stan. Look at that.
Wow, so he got some converters. Hahn converted some people from the Frank hype to the Frank haters.
Yes. So shout out to Sir Craft. He says, love CP and J Ellis. You were the best. Shout out to you. Oh, my bad. I didn't read your message, Will from LI. Says, thanks so much for the show, guys. Yeah. LI was heavy in here. It was a great show. Fire emoji. Shout out to you, LI. That's my
guy. Absolutely. Diego Portela says, buddy, heel rumors, any truth? We haven't heard anything about it. Seriously. And he says, is Frank telling the coaches he doesn't want to be that 3-and-D, only wants to be a point guard? Yeah, from Alan Hahn. But that was interesting, J Ellis, that Frank doesn't really want to play off ball.
Yeah, that was an interesting tidbit that he didn't want to play off ball.
Yeah, very interesting tidbit. Very interesting tidbit.
You wonder how farther along he would be if he embraced a different role.
Yeah.
But yeah, we'll see how that goes this year. He might not have a choice. It's do or die time. You know, last year to work out the kinks. Him and DSJ, they got drafted the same year, so we don't know if his contract will be extended. That
it's gonna be do or die, man. It's gonna be do or die. It's gonna be tough. They're gonna have to earn it and go ahead and earn it. Shout out Drew Brown 305 Miami team hashtag new. Shout out Frank Matos checking in from West Palm as usual. Frank never misses a show. Definitely appreciate it. We got some team hashtag olds in here, like my guy Stephen Fox.
Hi.
Stephen Fox, what's going on? Go ahead, Jails.
Oh, another super shout out to Grind to Shine Apparel. Okay. Check out your stuff. Dope show, fellas. Hashtag Grind to Shine. All right, let me check you out. Let me see what you do, man.
Yeah, absolutely. Who else I want to shout out? Paul Nieles. He says, thank you, gentlemen, for sharing your time, passion for our Knicks. Hey, it's not a job. It's just what I would be doing with, if I wasn't streaming. So this is just what we do. Chico Fernandez, thanks CP, Jay, and Alan for coming on. Shout out Alan for being the Knicks guy in the media for us fans. Hit that thumbs up button for you boys.
Facts.
Go ahead, bro.
Oh, another 5 from SK. Shout out to you, SK, man. Yeah, this was a fun episode, man.
Yeah, it was fun.
I really enjoyed this one.
A lot of fun. How about that OB foot at the 3? It's getting
that footed CP. We're gonna edit out everything around that.
Okay? And it makes sense because all out of training camp, it's he's destroying all the records and all the fitness and conditioning, and he's doing flips and he's doing between the leg dunks.
His lead up the promo.
It's a lead up to the 3. They're gonna try it.
No.
Yes.
Man,
they're going to try.
I'd rather them split it 20-20 at the power forward, man.
Hey, go ahead and see what happens. Like I said, we got nothing to lose. Nothing to lose.
At the 3.
Yeah, absolutely. Tree City Gaming, appreciate it. He says, keep it up. Alan Fan 20 says, would love to know if there's any truth to these Mitch rumors. I think we got into that. Mitch, I think overall they want Mitch to put that work in. And I don't think that's a bad thing. I think that's a great thing. Put
that part did surprise me too. I wasn't taking any type of Wiseman rumors seriously because we had Mitch. Yeah. I didn't think we were seriously considering that. I thought it was always going to be a trade up for LaMelo situation, not a trade up for another big man.
The Wiseman thing had juice and it was real.
Sheesh.
Wiseman thing. I know my guy Troy Benjamin's happy about that. He was all in on Wiseman. There's a couple people that were like, go for Wiseman. Jake from Florida wanted Wiseman. I know Worldwide West he liked Wiseman as well. So interesting. The Rhyme Animal Chuck D sends us a super chat, J Ellis.
All right.
As usual. Appreciate it. Greg Walsh, he says, you guys are great. Keep grinding. Thank you, Greg. Who else you got, J Ellis?
SK, another super chat. It says, still a Frank fan, but Alan Hahn was right about inconsistency.
He sent the super chat just to clarify.
I
love it.
I like that too, man. Get your point across, bro.
I love it. Grind to Shine Apparel. Appreciate it. Jacob Moses, hit that thumbs up button for you boys. Thanks, Jacob. RDD says thank you. We got Blondie John sends a super chat. Simma Singh. Timothy Stamotsos. Sounds Greek. Salute to Timothy. David Garfinkel, appreciate it. Tiger Style, he's been in the chat a lot lately. He says, oh my God, Alan lived in Brentwood. I can count on one hand how many guys I've seen that look like him that lived there. They're from Long Island. It lives in Brentwood, you know?
Oh, man. Maybe it was the switch, man. Sometimes the neighborhood switches over, man.
Yeah, not that one.
No one knows, but I used to be in Hempstead for a second. So
yeah, J Ellis, you're a Long Island guy, bro.
Yeah, you know I was born in Brooklyn. I was weird. I was born in Brooklyn, lived in Long Island, but I was still, my parents, old school, snuck me into schools in Brooklyn. So I was in Long Island sneaking into Brooklyn schools. It was weird. Right now, my mom would be in jail. She did that.
Yeah, gotta do what she got to do, man.
And then ended up moving back to Brooklyn. But there was a period of time where the neighborhood changed. Like it was all Hispanic people. Mm-hmm. Then it just changed to the hood overnight.
Big up Brooklyn, big up Hempstead, Strong Island. Let's go. Rare Edition says, hit that thumbs up button for you boys. Great show tonight. Let's go Knicks. NY Sports Guy, the narrative that Tom doesn't play young is incorrect. He says Tom only plays the best. That gives him a chance to win. D Rose, Wiggins, Cat, Young. Yeah, I think his first year in Minnesota, the young guys was definitely getting burned. Levine and them were definitely getting burned. But I agree. I think the dogs are gonna eat, and that's it.
I'm so curious to see what's gonna happen in this training camp. Man. It's so crowded with the Peyton, Austin Rivers.
Tibbs is gonna find himself like Fizdale, like Hornacek, like Fisher. Everybody before him struggling to find rotations, the right balance between offense, defense. He's gonna struggle.
I know he is.
Yeah, I just hope. I think again this year with no fans and everything, it's a good year to do those trials and extend training camp and really do your evaluations. I think there's no better time than now.
Exactly. That's why I was really upset over the Peyton signing in general. Mm-hmm. Not that he's a bad point guard, but I just knew it just muddied the waters even more.
Yeah, you know but you need a vet though. I always said you still need the vet, and I guess it was Peyton. You know, Augustine got 3 years from Milwaukee. Jeff Teague now he's gonna be getting some big time burn with the Celtics. Absolutely. Kemba's injury is kind of scary now.
I just want to pick a direction. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like we still haven't picked a direction of who are we going to focus on developing? You are the lead point guard. You are the backup point guard. We haven't really this
RJ, Obi, and Mitch. Real talk.
That's
RJ, Obi, and Mitch. Shout out John Hee Lee. Sends us a 5,000 won, J Ellis. We getting big in South Korea, bro.
Hey.
We might have to go to South Korea and do a live location, man, from their Times Square, man.
Yo, when we start doing the tour.
When we start doing the world tour, we're going to have to stop in Korea, man. We already got to do the East Coast, you know what I mean? We got to go to we got to go to Philly.
Australia, too. We got to go to Australia. We got to go to
we got to go to Australia. Check the homies out there, New Zealand. You know what I mean?
Facts. Well, shout out to Will from LI, man. He says another super chat says the interview is a diamond. Definitely one. They were my favorite. Love the passion from Alan. Great show, guys.
Great show. Gary Venters, he said, gentlemen, my question is, didn't the Knicks offer Randall incentives in his contract to cause him to maybe overreact? Oh, to say that he was going after the incentives? I'm not sure. I don't think it was anything overreact. Listen, I think Randall was here. I think Tibbs. I think Fizdale said it. He wanted to give him more responsibility. He wanted him to grow into being more than what he was. And Randall took that challenge. And again, when the team stinks, when the team is constantly losing, your players who are number one, when they really should be number 3 or 4, their weaknesses are glaring. Their weaknesses are more exposed. They hurt more. You know what I mean? Where Peyton hurts you more. Whereas when they were the backups, wherever they were, it was fine and dandy.
Right. Like, and I've said this on another show, probably my own. Sometimes these shows you're like, what did I say this before?
Facts.
But yeah, I feel it in my bones, man. I'm really excited about this Obi pick.
Yeah,
and
I'm getting excited about this Obi pick too, man.
I feel like if he is the starting power forward, eventually it's just going to work out just because of the passing, man. The passing and the shooting just makes him a modern big who just set for this type of NBA. And when you can combine that with his personality, and it seems like he already has the natural leadership skills and that work ethic, it just, to me, I just feel like I can see him and RJ being like the
cornerstones.
Real cornerstones.
Yeah. I'm coming around to the Obi pick as well, man. And I think, like I said, I think the offense will speak for itself. It's the defense and the playmaking that I'm more interested in seeing. And I think he's going to be solid. I think he's going to be solid, man. Whether that's at the 3 or the 4, I think more so 4, obviously, but we'll see what they try.
Right.
with the 3. Well, let's go, man. I'm rooting for the kid heavy, bro. No doubt about it. He's embracing this thing. He's tough,
man.
He's mature. I'm rooting for this kid heavy, bro.
Yeah, I'm so excited. Yo, that shot that you just played, when
he
does
the
behind the back, the behind the back 3 from the corner and doesn't turn around to see it drop.
I didn't know he had that in the bag. He did the Steph Curry on him.
I was talking about that on Twitter. I was like, yo, check this joint out. That shot was so filthy.
Let's go. I like
if
that.
If he does that at the Garden, I'm going ham.
I like that. Let's go. A ton of super chats. We're gonna get through all of them before we wrap this thing up, man. Salute to everybody in the chat. Hit that thumbs up button for you boys. We definitely appreciate it. We got to salute to people tonight because this was the people's show. For real, where did I leave off? Curvins Lusant. Appreciate it, Curvins. Automatic YT says, what are the chances of getting Lonzo? I'm not sure, J Ellis. We got to see if, David Griffin doesn't seem like a guy that you could just push over. So, I think they're going to see what they have. They got our guy, Kyra, or some guys, Kyra. Knicks fans like Kyra Lewis.
I like Kyra.
They got Bledsoe Hill.
Like going to be too steep.
So, Stan Van said he wants to see Lonzo be more aggressive in the offense, not just look to pass. So, seems like they're interested in seeing what they have in them.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I feel you. I'm wondering what's going to happen over there too, because they still have Bledsoe over there too, and they still have Kyra over there. So they're kind of doing what we're doing. They're gonna have to make a decision unless they're doing some things where they see like a 2-guard front type of situation. Maybe they're trying to do that.
Yeah.
But
Raw Hebrew Remnant says, great show, Knicks Fan TV, Nick of Time show. Yeah, we got to get Raw Hebrew Remnant on the show. I talked to him already.
Facts. Shout out to you, Raw Hebrew, man. He does some great stuff.
Yeah, we got to get him on the show, man. I always like his takes.
Man, I was thinking, great minds think alike, CP.
Yeah. Chris C, great show tonight with Alan Hahn. Salute CP and J Ellis, Knicks Fan TV. Let's go. Joel John says, thank you. Appreciate it, Joel. NY Sports Guy, another chat. He says, #old. Jeffrey Falto, big thumbs up to UCP. Appreciate it, Jeffrey. Go ahead, J Ellis.
Oh, shout out to Hits Over Hype. Here's a question. Since Super Chat, it says, more likely to step up this year, Frank or DSJ? Yeesh. You think Frank?
Frank.
I'm gonna say Frank too.
Who
seems like they're pushing DSJ.
Step it up. I think Frank.
I feel like they're trying to thrust DSJ into the spotlight though. So I don't know if that means anything, but I just have more faith in Frank in general.
Me too. Agreed. Payback Carter. That's my guy. Payback. He said, "Dope show. Alan came for the smoke. Let's do it." Nick's burner account sends us a super chat. Could be them. Could be them for real, bro.
I love these.
Could be them for real, man. Yeah, man.
Rick Harrison says, "For real fire show." Shout out to you.
Yeah, it was a great show, man. Great show. Shout out Joaquin Saavedra checking in from Uruguay, J Ellis. So we're in South Korea. We're heavy in South America. Let's go. Everybody throw your cities in the chat where you guys are repping from. We rep Long Island heavy tonight. I want to see where everybody's tuning in from and shout you guys out. Anton Cates says, great work, fellas. Han Solo. Above the rim says, take Frank to the hood before the season starts.
Oh, man. Yo, these comments, man. Yo, shout out Infamous New King. He says, great show tonight. Shout out Alan Hahn. Hashtag the Brentwood aristocrat. Hashtag Bartend Hahn.
The Brentwood aristocrat, KFT. Man. That's his new nickname. KOT. That's his new nickname. Hit up Alan Hahn on Twitter between tonight and tomorrow and tell him his new nickname is the Brentwood aristocrat. Let's go. Ron Pierre Jr. He says, great show. Thanks for keeping it real on Frank. Trevon Cash, good show, but Frank's defense is his long arms. Not physical enough to be considered a great defender. He's soft and can't penetrate the lane. Trevon keeping it buck.
His defense is his long arms. I mean, is that his fault?
No, it's not.
a lot of great defenders have long arms.
I think he's still the best defender we have on the perimeter right now. Again, I said he's replaceable. I think he is. And that's no slight. That's no slight to him.
Yeah, he is a role player. As of today, role player, glue guy.
That's it.
We can find another role player, glue guy. Hopefully, he pans out. It would be nice to have our own homemade one who can, run some pick and roll, play some defense from 1 to 4. Hopefully, he works out. I'm rooting for Frank for sure. Everybody knows that already.
Andre Beckford checking in from West Hempstead, Long Island. Shout out Cherry Valley. I'm starving right now. I'm about to eat some dinner after this. Shout out Cherry Valley. You should go to Cherry Valley in the late night jails and kill it.
Oh, yeah?
Oh, yeah. It's a deli, but they have everything. Cherry Valley has everything.
Okay, always need like nice spot.
Yeah, 24 hours, too. Chris Dada, he says, another Knicks Fan TV classic. This is it for all the youngins this season. Big changes in store for 2021. Need to show and prove their value.
All right.
Lonnie Rodriguez, appreciate it. Jose Guerrero, appreciate it.
Are you Hispanic? I know you're Jamaican.
My
the way
Spanish,
you using your arms, you rolling, like
man.
You bowling, dog.
My Spanish was nice back in the game, J Ellis. I went all the way through high school, man. I should have kept it, going in college and whatnot.
Me too, but I don't be saying Uruguay like you.
Yeah, it's Uruguay. You know what I mean?
See?
The you gotta you know what I'm saying? Joaquin knows what's up. Joaquin knows what's up, man.
My Spanish teacher was surprised I passed the region. She was like, J Ellis gonna fail. Then my test came up.
Your O-line is not up to speed, bro.
Yeah, exactly. But then I flexed on him when I got an 80 on that bad boy. It's like, how you like me now?
Nice.
Uruguay.
That's it. That's it, man. Stephen Weeks, it says amazing show. The one bright spot of 2020. Rob Clark, glad to support. Keep up the great work. Thank you, Rob. Timothy Stamotsos says Rivers, RJ, Obi, Randall, Mitch will start next Friday. Putting it out.
Okay. Yo, help me. Yo, let's see. KOT show. Help me get to 200 likes, man. Let's get to 200
Let's get to 200 likes in the KOT show. Let's get it.
Yeah, let's get to, we at 172. Let's get to 200 likes.
Let's get it. Gilly Tang. Thank you, Gilly Tang. Mikey Murphy always supporting us. Shout out Empire Sports. Frank Ntilikina can hopefully be one of our defensive anchors. Love the show, fellas. Salute. Yeah, I still feel that. And I think, like I said, in spots, I think he'll finish in some games. I think he'll finish some games.
I hope so, man. Like I said, he showed some flashes. It's unfortunate that the season ended the way it did.
Mm-hmm.
Like him and RJ, they just seemed like they just started to find a groove.
Yeah.
And to me, RJ likes playing with Frank. I know the coaches don't, but it just seems like Frank and RJ have some type of something going on. Like I still remember that Rockets game where Alan was talking about how the Rockets destroyed us, but I still remember the game where RJ had the team on his back and finished through PJ Tucker.
Yeah. No,
and then
I think that Madison Square Garden game was the year before last.
Exactly. That's what I was trying to get at, but I didn't really get the. And then right after that, Frank put the clamps on James Harden and had the game-winning stop. I think that's what people was trying to talk about. I was trying to get that out, but I can't really get it.
Yeah.
But we had. I mean, there was something there, man. There's something there. There's something there. We just need to keep it together. Hopefully he has a role on this team, but there's so many point guards and veterans. We don't know what's going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
But at least I know that my guy Frank, he can play defense. If anything, push him to shove, he can play some defense.
A lot of people ask me about Miles Powell, J Ellis. Listen, he's a bucket. I don't think he's gonna make the team. I keep saying that. So, that's the reason why you don't really hear much talk about him. He's on an uphill battle.
I agree with you, man. And I've seen somebody say he feels like the competitiveness and the chip on his shoulder is going to force the Knicks to consider him.
You hope so.
And here's my take on it though. Like, even if he's flat out better than some of the point guards here tonight, I just feel like there's too much at stake for DSJ and Frank to outright.
You got to get through the politics and the red tape.
Exactly. Like, I can see him coming over after the trade deadline.
Right.
Even if he's better than everybody else.
You got to cut somebody to bring him on.
Exactly.
Who are you going to cut? Right now, you got to cut one person, period.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, if you bring it on MKG, you might have to cut two. But now, if they bring in an active roster from 13 to 15,
that makes it easier.
That can make things a bit interesting too. So I think Powell's going to end up in the G League and whatever. If we keep him in the organization and he's growing, let him come along. Let him come along.
Facts. XK asked, how does ball dominant DSJ fit next to Frank? Shout out to you for the super chat again. I mean, that's something that's never been. We've seen it in flashes and it looked okay. But those two have never been healthy and just mentally aware at the same time, so it never really happened. Kind of like the Amari Carmelo thing where they just never got healthy at the same time. So, I mean, it could be something there, but I'm not sure what's going to happen this year just because there's just too many variations that can happen.
Yeah. BTHM in the chat says cut Pinson. That's what they should do. Give Powell, that's what they should have done, is give Powell the two-way and get Pinson out of here. I don't know what the Pinson obsession is about. I really don't.
Dude, I don't know if you follow me on Twitter, but he posted a video about like why, and shout out to Delano too, about why Pinson is here when we cut Kenny Wooten and Dotson's not here, and like it just doesn't make sense to have him here at all. It just seems like that looks like a pure CAA move, to be honest.
Yeah, why is Pinson still here, man? Send him back to Brooklyn, bro. Ken Velasquez, appreciate it. Ken, he says, thank you guys, keeping it real. David Katz, appreciate it. Joey, appreciate it. He says, Knicks all day, bro. Pete Cruz, appreciate it. Who else you got, Jails?
Oh, man, shout out to Casey Smooth. Shout out to you. Alawise, shout out to you, man, as well.
Yeah.
The XL Customs, shout out to you. Will Beggs, also shout out to you. And Chris Reddick.
Mm-hmm. Shout out Roldy Louis. Says you guys live. We live and direct, man. Shout out Roldy. Shout out Gary Ebron. Thanks for the super chat. Pete Cruz, thanks for the super chat. Dope show like always. Keep it going. Ivores Thom says, great job, guys. Keep up the good content. Ace Merluza says, awesome show, fellas. First show I've watched live. I had lots of fun. Shout out to the boy RP in heaven. Shout out RP, and biggest Knicks fan I know, no doubt. Shout out RP and rest in peace. Aquarium Town C, great show, excellent interview. Appreciate it. What else you got, Jails?
Says shout out to, we got more Long Island. Glenn Cole from Long Island in here. Great show, fellas. Chris Reddick, he says, love the personality combo with CP and J Ellis. I would love to see y'all as a duo on other pods. Okay, that's what's up. That's what's up. Bodega, no G League this year. Okay, no G League. All right, shout out to you.
Yeah.
Shout out to D Nice, man. I see you active in the chat. Shout out to you.
Salute to D Nice. Salute my guy Ismail Rivas. He's in here heavy all the time. Drex YouTube says, let's go Knicks from the Philippines. We also heavy in the Philippines, man. So good morning to everybody in the Philippines. Good morning to everybody in Australia, New Zealand, everybody in Asia Pacific. Definitely appreciate it. All right, we're coming down to it. Stephen Fox, if Obi plays a 3, Walt Frazier will be talking about Matador defense.
Ole.
Yeah, I can't see it working out well, but we'll see.
I can't, man. When he said it, my brain hurt. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
I was like, wait, what? How he's gonna? Oh my God! Shout out to Chuck D. Super chat, man.
Shout out to the Rhyme Animal, Chuck D. Always supporting us, man. Always supporting us from day one. Definitely appreciate it.
Facts, man. Shout out to you, Chuck.
Yeah, man. Don't Rory. Any update on Iggy? I think this guy can help. So we talked about Iggy, and Hahn basically agreed. He thinks he's an uphill climb. They're going to test him out on defense, see how his foot speed is. Offensively, he's a bucket. So let's see. I think he has an uphill climb though.
I'm still mad at Kenny Wooten, dog. Like, really?
Yeah.
This dude was a shot blocker, and he was starting to hit the mid-range jumper. No one really saw it, but he was starting to hit that mid-range jumper.
Yep.
And we just let him go.
Facts.
After people was trying to sign him last year after his performances.
Mm-hmm.
Like, relationships really run things, man. It really do.
Yeah. Facts. AQ in the chat said Nate is still waking up.
There will be no Nate
slander.
No
Nate slander, man.
No.
Salute to Nate. That's our guy.
Salute.
Man. We glad he's okay for sure.
Facts.
100%. Rayman K says Knicks locked for finishing bottom 5, worst team in the division. I think so.
Yeah,
I think so. No problems there with me. If they finish
dog. Yeah, I'm genuinely excited, CP.
Yeah,
I'm genuinely excited to be, develop some young guys, pick a point guard or something in this draft, and then really have a straight up 4 or 5 guys here I'm excited about who can grow and run things for 10 years. You know what I mean? And then we just add some pieces.
We need the point. We need it. The point or the 3 has to be the guy. I'm not saying RJ, and Obi can't. We need one more, J Ellis. Give me one more. If we can get a dual threat point, that can finish off ball, be a dual threat on the pick and roll with Obi. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Can still be low usage enough where RJ can still do his thing.
Exactly.
Let's go.
Exactly. It doesn't necessarily have to be like a crazy scoring point guard, but a scoring threat.
Yes, a scoring threat that you have to respect. Mm-hmm. Take us a long way, man.
Well, definitely.
Yeah, man. All right, let's roll, bro. This has been a great night. Salute to Alan Hahn, Han Solo. Salute to everybody who came on. J Ellis, you want to do your closing?
Yeah, man. I'm going to close it right now. Shout out to everybody. Shout out to Steph Weeks. I'm sorry.
More super chats coming in.
Jeez, all right. They really love the show tonight. Shout out to you, Stefan Weeks. Says Wavy Wooten hurt. Great job, J Ellis. Thank you, Stefan, man. Appreciate it for sure.
Yeah. All right. Rolly Lewis asks about Braz Dacus as well. Same thing we said. He says he's pissed about Wooten as well. Harlem CEO, appreciate it. Harlem, Uptown Harlem World, what's going on? Pseudonym Skipe says you guys are awesome. Nate is still knocked out.
K still at PG. Otto Wise wants K still at PG every week. What's going on with you? I'm gonna tell K still you talking about it, but that's probably what you want.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
All right, man.
Yeah, let's get out of here.
Hey, let's get out of here, man. Shout out to everybody who rocks with Knicks Fan TV and Knick Time Show. Definitely check out the latest episode that we did with Alex. Pretty funny episode. My guy Ryan kind of went off. It's on youtube.com/Knick Time Show. We talking about the point guard talk, point guard discussion, Obi Toppin starting, and MKG. Almost did you, MPJ. And also you can check out our blog at theknicktimeshow.com. You can also follow us on all social medias. That is the KOT Show on Twitter, the Knick Time Show on Instagram, and you also follow us on Facebook. And you can get some merch as well on theknicktimeshow.com. That's all, CP. Back to you.
Yes, sir. Great show, man. This was the show to kick off.
Yeah.
To kick off the season. Yeah. This is the show, man. Hey, remember, Manscaped.com. Promo code Knicks, 20% off. Check out the Perfect Package 3.0. No joke. Great package. You get the Lawnmower 3.0, pair of boxers, deodorant. You get the mat. Keep it clean. Very nice. Very nice for the holidays, fellas. Tell your lady to get you this. She won't regret it. Trust me. 20% off plus free shipping. Promo code Knicks. Go to manscaped.com right now and get yours for the holidays. Thanks again for everybody. All the mods for all your hard work. Dave, TM, Above the Rim, all you guys. Can't name everybody. We got a ton of mods, but the Shells Heavy, all you guys, man. All the mods have been helping us from day one to now.
Mm-hmm.
Much appreciated. Much appreciated. If you missed it live, we'll run a replay tomorrow. We'll be cutting up some shorter clips for the people that need them. And remember, this show's available in audio podcast format, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Play, Amazon Alexa, Stitcher, iHeartRadio. We everywhere, man. Can't miss us.
That's right.
Yeah, man.
That's it.
Almost a week away from preseason, J Ellis. We ready?
Let's go.
We ready? I feel like going to hoop right now.
Yo, I reordered my cable.
Okay.
I'm set up, ready to go.
We got to figure out when we're going to do the watch along.
That's right.
Yeah, we'll figure that out.
Yeah,
get into the planning phase.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, sir. All right, people. We out of here, man. This was a classic. Thoroughly enjoyed it. Take care, you guys. Be safe. Enjoy the weekend. Peace.